That makes sense as to why I haven't heard you banging on about Smallville.
Because you know when it happens, I'm going to be like, somebody say...
Yeah, because I don't hear that enough every stream.
Let your warm hands break right through somebody.
It doesn't even make sense. The lyrics don't even make sense.
Hey, it's the warm hands of hope breaking through the darkness and the sky of the...
What are you smoking?
Kryptonian grade weed.
Yeah, it's going to have to be in it.
What's happening, everybody, and welcome back to the True Gamer Podcast, a podcast hosted by two gamers for you, the True Gamers. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with my bro, the Inverted Gamer, with the also double hat in.
That's right.
Bro, Sheps, how's it going, bro?
It's going good, bruv. Anime noises and stuff for my cat ears.
Oh, yeah, you did go very anime with the whole... That's what I thought when you were going to do the 2 years, by the way. I thought, are you two hats? I was like, is he going to go, obviously, like, anime style? Like
I was just
that?
thinking... One hat is like a birthday celebration, but two is like going the extra mile. Yeah, it's double the birthday.
I have to say, the only thing I can think when I look at you is those like Twitch streamers, those female Twitch streamers with the headphones with the cat ears.
Yes.
That's all I can see. Even though it's a lot bigger.
You know.
Everyone, throw your donations at him and maybe he'll say your name. There
That's
you go,
right.
Bro, today is a very special day.
Yes.
We've got a nice show planned, a lot of really cool stuff to talk about because it is the 1 year anniversary, the first birthday of the current gen consoles. And this is... wait, let me get mine as well. Hold on. These are very cheap.
It's true. They are cheap because that's what you and... you all did it!
I got noise!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, PlayStation and Xbox! Happy birthday right there. Yeah, this is unfortunately all we can afford here at Conbrosations.
That's right.
Thanks to you guys.
If you want to make poor content creators' lives even better, you can support them for as little as $1 a month over on patreon.com/Conbrosations. Improve a content creator's life.
Exactly.
And donate today.
Exactly. So I'm excited for some gaming talk today.
Yeah.
Predominantly the show's just going to be about that. I feel like it's a big enough milestone that we can talk about that.
I feel so too, yeah.
Talk about all the stuff that we've enjoyed over the year, all the stuff that has happened, ups and downs, games that have come out. Oops, Superman got knocked over.
Oh no.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be a meaty topic, I think. A nice chill chat sesh.
Nice chill little chat sesh. Before we get going into that, however, there's a super set of people, speaking of Superman that I just knocked over, a super set of people who make this show and everything on the Conbrosations channel, the Conbrosations network, I would say.
I think that's good branding.
Exactly. As long as you put network at the end of anything, it means something, obviously.
Facts!
There's a special group of people who make everything possible over here, and those are our super bros. Those super bros those super bros who support us over at patreon.com/Conbrosations. Those people are Diogo Dildo, Isak the Ultimate Cumsock, Sabine from Smallville, Record Friction, the Star Wars Encyclopedia Adam Sundling, Jeremy Renner, that's right, an official Avenger. I hope you're doing well on Hawkeye, by the way, it's coming out soon. Super Sus Ben Fryer, the Filthy V Fanatic Joe McCormack, my juicy left nut, the super sexy producer Sean, Big Boy Billy, and Kevin, the #1 simp. Of the 1-year-old Xbox, which sounds so bad now that I say it out loud.
Yes. That one probably should have been workshop before we did. I normally leave you to do these. Like, you change the order, which, as a personal note, I absolutely hate. Not that the order's changed, but that the order was changed. I don't care what the order is. Just changing it, I hate.
Yeah.
But I leave you to that stuff because you do the announcing. I feel like that one maybe we should have workshopped.
Yeah, I honestly didn't even think about it until I actually said it, and I was like, oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Thank you for supporting us, bros, for keeping the lights and mics on the gaming going here at Conbrosations.
That's right.
Bro.
Yes.
what have you been playing on this fine gamer week we have had just recently?
I've been super busy the last week. I haven't played anything, yeah.
Have you been a fake gamer?
It's true.
A fake gamer.
I have been fake gaming.
Well, at least you haven't been playing on PC.
That's true.
I have been even faker than you gamer because I've been playing on PC.
No. What have you been playing?
2 games. A bit more Age of Empires while I was waiting for Forza Horizon to come out. Forza Horizon 5 has come out. For those of you guys that didn't see the endless amounts of advertisement that Microsoft paid to fill your Twitter feeds with it, and obviously everyone tweeting about it because it is a gorgeous looking game. It's fantastic. It was a great racing game. I love it. It's so much fun. The cars look so beautiful.
Yeah, Forza's always gorgeous.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
The photo mode is
no game
amazing.
inside, so it can use all of its processing power just to make it look good. You know?
All right, shall we talk about that? Shall we talk about that? So last night I made an assertion. I made a statement of fact. That's what I made.
Yeah.
And
I feel like this is our beginning of the correcting conversations thing. I feel like, should we intro correct? Let's just do that because
should it be a part of it? Because people are trying to
if
correct
you knew
me.
around
However,
here.
it's not real. Come on, go on.
It wasn't on the YouTube comments, but
go on.
If you're new around here, we are idiots on the internet, and we've never let facts get in the way of a strongly held belief. Not once. And so sometimes we say things and they're not exactly accurate and people correct us. One of those things was you tweeted. What did you exactly tweet?
I tweeted, I'm not saying this to get people angry, but I can't...
But, that big but.
but I can never accept a racing game to be Game of the Year.
Oh yeah, facts, straight facts.
Yeah, I said as well, Forza is fantastic and so are a bunch of other racing games, but they can't make you feel like a bunch of other game genres do, and they never will. That was my statement of fact.
I went a little bit further and said, basically, no story, no characters, no growth equals no game. I replied to you with that.
Exactly right there, exactly, yeah. So a bunch of people... Well, so I should say there are a vocal minority, and we hate these minorities.
It's true, especially you, Alpha.
Oh, exactly. Who came out and were trying to say that that's not true, that's absolute bullshit. You can totally get Game of the Year contender and be a racing game. And they proceeded to say a bunch of things like, what if someone played... They weren't actual racing fans, but they were trying to fight on, trying to white knight them, basically.
Right.
They're like, what if those people who like racing games are getting them and they have so much fun and it gives them like this feeling of joy and excitement? And it's no problem.
Great for them. It's hypothetical because those people don't exist, but great for them.
Exactly. It's hypothetical, guys, all right? And great for them, that's fine. But that's, when we go to what is Game of the Year, sir? Oh, well, the game that gave me the most amount of fun and hype and No. We talk about what is the best game.
Right.
That's what Game of the Year is. You may like that game, it may be your favorite game, no problem. But that's not Game of the Year.
Right.
And I was merely stating that
there's a reason The Last of Us 2 beat out FIFA. Okay?
Yeah.
You might have spent a lot of hours on FIFA. You might have really enjoyed yourself playing with 22 millionaires and their balls. But look, no story, no characters, no growth, no game.
Exactly. I was like, the feeling that you get from it may be great.
Right.
But the feeling that you get from a racing game is capped. There's a ceiling here that you can't stretch past.
Right.
And with other games that have like the best sort of performance capture, the acting, the emotional story, the surprises, the twist, their ceiling is up here. So you physically can't reach it as a racing game. That's nothing to say that you're not saying you're a bad game.
Yeah.
Just saying you can never get Game of the Year.
Agreed.
And a lot of dumb people, aka the Welfords, and a bunch of other people in our community.
Have the Welfords ever had one good take?
Never.
Name one.
Never.
Name one.
There was something funny is that James started like actively playing the devil's advocate.
He doesn't like racing games.
No,
He
he's
doesn't
definitely
care.
trolling. And somebody said it's like James is gonna make Forza Horizon 5 his Game of the Year just to spite Eddie.
Do you know what's
I can see
funny?
him doing that.
That night, or last night, I just jumped on Twitch because I'd watched all my YouTube stuff and I was like bored and not sleeping. James was streaming Forza. Or it might have been Gag.
His
One
Game
of
of
them.
the
One
Year.
of those idiots.
His Game of the Year.
It's
yeah.
just, it's funny that he'll change his entire world belief just to annoy somebody else. You know?
I love it. And I said in the comments, I was like, he did the same thing for Zack Snyder's Justice League. He was like,
Yes, he did.
I'm going to fully believe and make it my narrative that Zack Snyder's Justice League is a terrible movie
Right.
just because, just to spite Eddie and Sheps.
Yeah. He's a contrarian, isn't it?
Exactly. Like, just like his brother. Where do you think his brother got it from?
That's right. Collectively, they're just the bad take kings, isn't it?
Exactly. Anyway, that happened on Twitter. But regardless of that perfectly flawless take of mine,
Yes.
the game is actually very fun.
Right.
And it's totally deserving of all of the critical acclaim that it's getting and everything like that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
yeah.
very, very good... The intro specifically as well, it starts you off with like... it drops cars out of this plane carrier.
Oh,
a
sick.
bit like a military plane where they're
Fast
like...
and Furious, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's different types of
That's
vehicles.
what I want for my racing games.
Exactly, that's what you want,
Yeah.
really. To be fair, I haven't played much of like Gran Turismo games, but
Right,
I hear
right.
that's more of a simulator.
Yeah.
And it's more sterile. I would honestly do think I would prefer probably like Forza
I
because
want
of
crazy,
the fun.
yeah. I want
Exactly.
silly, yeah.
Anyway, these they drop you out and they're just playing one car for a little bit, then another car for a little bit, another car. And I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
great. And they do that slow down bullet time thing when you do a jump.
Sick.
It's a great game. It's a fucking great game.
That's exactly what you want. I want, if I'm going to play a racing game, which I don't normally, but I want like elements in there of like, you know, your gorgeous graphics and stuff.
Yeah.
I want quirky. I want to be running a Gen 1 shitbox Golf racing like Ferraris, you know, and winning.
Because you tuned the shit out of
Right.
it.
I want elements of Simpsons Hit and Run and Crazy Taxi in there. You know, like that's what you do, because as much as we say, you know, these games can't win Game of the Year. Like Forza's always been deserving, in my opinion, of like graphical awards.
Yeah, because it is.
And also good
genuinely
music. The problem is for music, for scores, they go up against things like, as an example, The Last of Us 2,
Yeah.
which, because of the way it delivers its music in that narrative fashion, is always going to take the lead. That's not to say the music isn't good or is even necessarily better. It's because it's in that storytelling motif.
Yeah.
But Forza and games like that can absolutely and should absolutely deserve those awards.
I think they do deserve those awards. There is one thing I will say
The
about the
graphical
music,
and technical
though.
stuff. Oh yeah.
The musical stuff is that it's good music.
Yeah.
However, there's no timing. Like when it comes to a story, you
Right.
have to place a
Well,
song.
exactly. That's it. Yeah.
But in a Forza game, it's just like you're racing. Turn on the banging tune, lads.
Right.
And that's it. And that's great. It's great. It
and
works.
that's-
It's what it's meant for.
That's why this, I feel like any score in a, say like a Forza can't compete, because you can take a specifically designed song for a specifically designed moment, or
Yeah.
song, you know, score piece of music, and time it perfectly for the thing that's being delivered, because the whole thing is developed head down,
Yeah.
you know, top down to present this like specific moment, this crescendo.
Yeah.
And in a racing game, they just play good music.
Can I do one random thing to you?
Are you gonna?
I need you to pull your chair just a smidge because I think it's touching the table. It's earthquake on my camera right here.
Oh, that helped.
Sorry, I want to pull you a little bit away. I think
Cool.
you're not touching the table now. Technical issues over here at Conbrosations here. Yeah.
So Forza, you've been having a good time.
Yeah, it's been really good. To be honest though, I don't know how much more time I'll spend in it. That is probably because I'm not a racing game
Yeah,
guy.
it's not your thing.
It's fun and stuff
Put on
like
the
that.
VR headset, get out that chair, and put a bin, like just sellotape it to your chest. You know? So you'll be like,
to collect all the vomit. I don't know how much more I'll
and then
play
it's a
of it
new
because-
drinking game with the vomit.
Oh no!
But-
Oh, why? Why would you say stuff like that? I'm still recovering, by the way.
One more question. So no one cares about Age of Empires, no one
Yes.
cares about Forza. You played Kingdom Farts. I tried to warn you. So two questions. One, how did you find Kingdom Farts? And also, by the way, that was the absolute worst way to get introduced to the series.
With Kingdom Hearts 3.
With 3, which
Yeah.
is like the 15th title in the franchise.
Makes sense, yeah.
And how did you feel the morning after?
Okay. There's another question in there as well. It's
Oh,
like, well, how was it like the experience during
Yeah,
and all that stuff
yeah.
like that? So, for those of you guys that don't know, if you missed it in the last show what we mentioned, or if you missed the actual thing, there's going to be an edited version of like all the highlights and stuff that are coming out soon.
Jaming.
So you guys can enjoy that. I played Kingdom Hearts 3 on stream, drunk, and people were donating for shots. People were gifting subs to get me to wear stuff and do shots.
It started
And I
out
was-
from a bad place.
And I'm doing drinks based on a bingo card that someone in the community, some people in the community made. And
Now,
that was my downfall,
They
really.
stacked the deck, before you did the stream, we were doing this podcast earlier,
Yeah.
and you showed me the bingo card, and I looked at it, and I flat out said, "You can't do shots, or even spirits. Like, this needs to be beer sips, because they're out to kill you. Like, the boys have a drinking problem, and the problem is that we're doing the drinking.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
so they're totally irresponsible."
They're alcoholics, but they're not the ones drinking the alcohol. They're
Right.
making us do it.
And they absolutely stack the deck. Like, there are a few of these where it's like, oh, they say Sora, Goofy, Donald,
Yeah,
or Pete and Maleficent turn up, or they mention the black box. I'm like, why are you? I literally said, you cannot do spirits. You will die.
Do you want to hear something worse? So I started off, everything was great. They immediately, I set a limit of 30 gifted subs, and I would get dressed into the Sora outfit.
Yes,
and
yeah.
I said that every 10 subs, I would take a shot as well.
Yeah.
Within 15 minutes, we hit that. So 3
Yeah.
shots straight away. Ben also donated a $5 as well, which was another shot. So
Right.
4 shots, and I was in my Sora outfit within 15 minutes. That was already done. I tried to delay as much as possible, but then we started playing with the game. I didn't realize this, and I don't know what happened when I agreed to this, but they made a rule that on the bingo card, if it happens multiple times, then you still have to take multiple drinks.
I assumed they would.
I was like, okay, before I was like, okay, that's crossed out, that's done now, we don't need to do that again.
No.
But then it came around to it, I guess because I'd already had 4 shots in me and other stuff
right.
like that, I was like, yeah, sure, no problem.
Okay.
They said Sora, Goofy, and Donald like 8 times in the beginning section. They said Darkness and Heart a million times, and I'm here just like...
Like, you were like, I
was like,
I gotta
that.
be honest. I feel like maybe I didn't make it clear because it said they say Heart and Darkness. They say Goofy, Sora, Donald. I was like, they're clearly going to do this anytime this happens. I maybe didn't make you aware of that because otherwise, even so, you were going to do like whole line shot, you know, shot.
That's what I was planning to do, is just like cross it out so I don't have to do that again. Because a lot of those things, maybe about like 75% of them didn't happen because I didn't get to play too much of the game. But each one of them happened like 4 times each.
Oh,
and I'm just going down. And these motherfuckers, they just carried on enabling me. They're like, no, Eddie, you gotta drink now. Drink.
I mean, like...
And here's me. There was one time, almost fucking threw up. I had to take a second. I was like...
I saw that.
Ooh.
You had to stand up and be like, I need a second here, boys.
And they're like, get the bin. And if you haven't seen the bin...
Oh, no!
It's got like holes in it, so
It's
that
like a
wouldn't hold anything.
metal net bin.
Wouldn't have held anything.
Boops! All it would have done is sprayed everything. So
yeah, Kingdom Hearts went well.
I'm glad. No, I'm not glad. It was a great entertainment thing. How did you find the game?
Okay. You know how I said that I don't think this is going to be the best way to experience it?
Yeah.
And I'm not really looking forward to playing it. This is just fun.
Yes.
The start of it was very good.
Yeah.
I liked the music and I liked the interactions. It wasn't too Disney-y. It was just, oh, these are your characters that you know, but they're acting normal.
Right.
And there's some classic lines that they might say. And you're like, oh, we're in Thebes, because it started off with Hercules.
It starts off strong, which I don't know about you. Hercules for me is probably my favorite.
It's my favorite as well, right? So I think Ben might have known this, like starting off that way. He said afterwards, he's like, I knew you would like it. That's why I started off with this one. Everyone was giving me shit. I knew you would like it.
It starts strong, yeah.
But there was a song, something about Face Your Fears was in there, and I was like, oh, this is a banger tune, yeah. And I'm like in the stream, dressed as Sora with the perfect hair, by the way, just in case
I did
anyone was
see
asking.
that, and that was.
And I'm like, yeah, bouncing away. It was great.
Kingdom Hearts is such a good franchise. It's just of the 3, you know, Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3. It's the 18 titles in between them that ruin things, and the fact that to actually play the games and like in order and make them make sense. There's like 10 different lists of how you should play them, and good reasons for doing all of it. So, but I think the thing is, you see it and you're like, oh, it's like Weeb guys and Final Fantasy guys and. Like, neither of these games are for me. And then, it's Disney, but Disney's like kind of for kids a bit. Kingdom Hearts is good. The problem with Kingdom Hearts is 2 things. The 18 titles in the 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And the fan base. These freaking guys.
The fan base are the worst. We have some of them in our community, and my God, are they the worst.
Do you think you're going to continue playing? Hard to say in it.
It's hard to say, not because I don't want to, because I think this could be a cool chill game to just try carry on going. And I think after finishing the game, I'll be like, do you know what? Maybe I would pick up another one because I did genuinely enjoy myself. Yeah. However, there are so many games to play.
It's also like an 11-year-old game or something.
Yeah, that as well. But I'm like, even in this Christmas period, I've got like 6 games I have to finish. I have to. And then, but when we start, it's the new year, we can relax. No, February's full of like 8 games.
And especially the one big one.
Exactly. Yeah. We've got Forbidden West coming out. We've got Elden Ring coming out, something I personally love.
The next, like, let's be honest, Forbidden West and God of War comes out the month after.
Yep.
Those are 2 games.
God of War comes out January, so Forbidden West comes afterwards.
So of those 2... those are 2 that you're going to platinum because that's the way you're wired.
Exactly.
So you're not only just going to play the game, you're going to play it at least once, potentially twice, and do the grueling, all the everything.
The fun part, you mean?
Right.
The fun part.
The point of gaming.
Exactly, the reason.
Plus all the other games in between.
Yeah.
I do think if you're going to stream over Christmas, and maybe I'm not going to do it because I played Kingdom Hearts. Not 3 though, but I've played 1 and 2. The only 2 ones that matter. The titular ones, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. It might be a cool little chill stream game when you're not like destroying your liver.
Yeah.
But it's good fun, and I'm glad you kind of like... I can see why you'd be like, I really enjoyed it, but I don't know if I'll be able to make it back to it. You know? Especially with, to be honest, you got the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah.
Which needs playing and streaming. We will get onto...
There's a lot of good games.
We'll get onto the podcast. There's one final question about these like slightly older games. Mass Effect.
Yes. I haven't gone back to it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I do want to, but I haven't gone back to it, unfortunately. It's one of those games that I've put on my backlog, but there is a personal feeling, and I don't know if it's just residual feeling from how like I didn't like those controls.
Yeah.
I know if I powered through the first one, then I can get to the one that you're talking about that is the greatest. Same way like the Halo... the Master Chief Collection, where you were like, the first one's great, but the second one is really the thing you want to get to. And I managed to get through the first one, fine. So I just need to do the same thing for Mass Effect. And then when I get to the one and
I feel like
I have the willpower to do it.
Mass Effect 1 is going to be more of a chore if you didn't vibe with it.
Yeah.
I will say 2's an absolute masterpiece. It's every bit as good as Halo. The only sort of downside is like you do have to use those control wheels and stuff. It's just part of the game, right? Like if you try and play The Witcher and don't use the signs, don't use the potions, like
the way it's supposed to be played,
right? Like you go crossbow only.
Exactly.
Like you can do it.
Yeah.
But it's gonna feel a little bit hollow. You're not really gonna get it, and it's just one of those things. If you just give up and do it the way the game wants to be played, even if it's not your way of doing it, you have a better time playing the game. But you may not like the way you have to play. Do you know what I mean? So I would love it if you could just blast through 1, sort of just get the story and start 2.
So I can get on to 2. I would like to do that.
You might not like
well.
Mass Effect. Like it might just be you don't like the way the game's played. That's cool.
That's the thing. I mean, people, while a lot of people say it's great, it may just be one of those things that's not for me.
Absolutely.
But I've got to try it in order to know that.
You have to get through 1.
And I've got it, so let's do what we got to do. Yeah.
So
before we get moving any further. I can't stand the way that the camera is shaking. Is your thing touching it from there? I can't see. Is the chair touching?
No.
How is it moving this much? Is the back of it touching?
I think there might be a clamp it's touching.
Oh, that is it. Yeah. Okay. Do you mind scooting a smidge forward? Sorry, guys. We're going to do live tech issues right here.
I was trying to undo the clamp, but
I
cannot freaking reach that.
Do you mind getting off 1 second to do it? Because it's going to be shaking the whole time. I'm so sorry to ask this of you. Guys, bear with us. Interior decoration. You just need to make a few turns and then just pull it off. What? I'm like, why is it constantly shaking like that? Are we having a fucking... what's the Richter scale numbers? Earthquake. There we go. Earthquake happening right here.
There we go.
10 points. There we go. Cheers, my friend. Thank you so much. You legend.
And to the beauty of editing magic, which we're definitely not going to forget to edit out.
No. I'll put
enjoy
a
the
dot
booty
in.
shot, boys.
There you go. Bro,
Yes.
this is the True Gamer
That's right.
podcast. Coming to your eyes and ears every Saturday here on youtube.com/
Just search for the True Gamer Podcast.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. Here on YouTube and everywhere that you listen to us, even on podcast services around the world, which some of you guys are doing right now. If you love what we do here and you want to see more of this stuff, please help us out. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for some occasional notifications on videos.
Yeah, here
and
and
if you're on podcast services, rate us 5 stars over on Apple Podcasts because it helps us out. Really, it only takes 5 seconds. Please try that out. Really, really helps us out.
Actually
Thank
does
you so
help a
much.
lot.
If you like what we do even more and you want to take your support extra far, you want to go that extra step, you can head over to patreon.com/Conbrosations and kick us a couple of bucks a month where you can get all kinds of great benefits for being a top bro, for being a super bro, for everything and below. At the $1 tier, you get the True Gamer Plus supplemental podcast to this show, which is happening again this week, so you guys get to enjoy that. You get the Conbrosations podcast, which is us chatting about anything and everything.
Unfiltered, no holds barred.
It's really, really... Do you know what?
Well, sometimes even uncensor the word frick.
Not this week, but next week I'm going to be talking about...
Yes. I was going to bring that up anyway. So next week's going to be a big one.
It's going to be a big... thick
Meaty
episode of stuff. You get that at the $1 tier. And at the $5 tier, our True Gamer tier, you get this podcast as well early each and every week. So you get to hear it before everyone else, all of the peasants out there. And speaking of True Gamers.
Yes.
They're a special group of people, aren't they?
Yeah, so over on patreon.com/Conbrosations, over at the $5 tier, a group of people got together and they said... Make us a podcast.
No.
And make it about gaming.
Daddy.
Because if you do... Daddy?
Well, I don't know. I don't know why you guys said daddy, you weirdos.
Yeah. But, I mean, if I get a lot of DMs, I'm just saying. I've got some strange DMs doing this. And, you know, if they're going to be strange, they might also as well be praising me and calling me nice names.
Aye, papi.
Aye, papi. Anyway, those motherfuckers.
I ask my girlfriend to call me that all the time.
Do you? Like, unironically or like bedroom time?
I ask her unironically, like sometimes when she's trying to call me, I'm like, how many times have I told you? It's papi, okay? And when
listen, woman, if you want a response, you got to call my name.
Exactly.
What my name is.
God. Sorry, True Gamers.
True Gamers, yeah, that's more of a Combros thing. Look at what you're missing for as little as $1 a month. Our True Gamers, over the $5 tier that make this podcast happen. Who do we have to thank?
Have Jeremy Horde, Sab2557, Sheps' Crusty Right Nut, Isak Manny, Record Friction, Tobias Ford, please release the new Ghost album, sincerely Adam, Kevin Crow, Super Whale Ben, Joe McCormack, Diogo, Billy, you absolute thithering thothage, aka Zacchino, Sussy Imposter Among Us Moment, Batfan, aka The Better Eddie Clone, Fishy, The Jackal, Max H, Cobra SS, and Albie Scory. Thank you guys so much for keeping the lights and mics on and the gaming going here.
That's right. That's right. And if you're thinking about it, you can join over 50 incredible bros over on patreon.com/Conbrosations. Now into the meat of the podcast.
Yes, exactly. Oh well, just before we do that, by the way, if you don't want to donate to us over on Patreon,
we still love you.
Totally fine. We love you. You can do whatever you like. Over here is fine. Like, comment, stuff like that. That's all appreciated.
It all helps. We love you. You know how to help out the YouTubers. Just like, also look, genuine thing. You don't have to do it. But maybe consider it. If you use AdBlock, totally you're cool. Maybe whitelist our channel or your favorite content creators. It's a way that I actually kind of like getting ads in a weird way. Because I'm like, if I'm not on their Patreon or whatever, like it's a
support.
Minor inconvenience for me, and I get to literally pay someone. I do nothing. I do no work.
Yeah.
I don't have to give any money. Yeah. I basically get to pay someone for free for sitting through like 5 seconds and hit skip, you know,
and that's the thing. The 5 seconds counts as well. So that's and it's free support to your local.
Exactly. So maybe consider that, but you know, it's your life, it's your click. You know, do whatever you want, man.
On to your favorite subject. We did intro it before, but we'll intro it one more time just here. But we have got some corrections to go through, sir.
Okay, good. So look, correcting Conbrosations. We say stupid stuff on the internet. You got the intro before, but the really important thing, your corrections for this episode need to go in the comment section of this episode. Look, I'll be straight with you up front. We're trying to manipulate the YouTube algo a bit and give you a reason to comment. So slap it down in the comment section would really help us out. What do these idiots think we got wrong?
Brian Ford, top idiot. Obviously.
This freaking guy, Brian Ford.
Brian Ford. He
Mate,
goes.
he's an OG. He's been around for time.
He did it good. I'll tell you one thing he did good though.
Okay.
He went correcting conversations. He wrote down the timestamp as well.
Legend.
Quality. Love you,
Brian.
Ford.
You're obviously about to say something stupid.
Yeah, because
But appreciate the timestamp.
he started off with correcting conversations. That's how you know it's a stupid comment,
Right,
right?
idiot.
He goes. You mentioned that Warcraft is the fantasy version of StarCraft when actually StarCraft came out after both Warcraft 1 and 2, making StarCraft the sci-fi version of Warcraft. You idiot. You idiot.
First of all,
Our perfect record over 66 episodes is ruined because of you.
I was given... Everybody knows StarCraft, but maybe people don't know Warcraft. And I was like, it's basically how dare you? I'm going to listen to that freaking timestamp, and I swear to God. If I said it the way I just put it out there, you get freaking banned, Brian. I've had enough of your shit.
If it turns out he's right, I'll edit it. Because you've got the YouTube editor, you can cut out that section of the podcast.
Yes, we will. We'll do that. No evidence.
You were never wrong.
Internet magic. But he's right. StarCraft came out first.
Runic Firebird said, as the resident Shazam stan,
Okay.
I cannot let this slide, Sheps. You said that Shazam TV came out in the 40s when it actually came out in the 70s. As a DC fanboy, you should be ashamed.
How dare you? There's a 1941 Shazam miniseries.
Oh, shit.
You little shit.
Is there really?
Yes, Google it. Hold on.
You're not chatting shit. You're actually, is that actually a
Shazam
thing?
1941. Boom. Right there. Get absolutely fricked.
Firebird getting caught in 4K.
Shazam 1941 Adventures of Captain Marvel is what it says, but it's Shazam. You little sussy bucker. You have no idea. Fake fan. Recorrect that. Correcting Conbrosations. We need a name for our guys. I feel like we were going to do the Combro Nation, but then everybody does like Nation.
Nation, yeah. For the patrons, we've got a good one. Combo patrons. That's a good one.
That's a pretty good one.
But we don't have anything for we just call them bros.
Correcting these frickin' simps. Educate yourself.
And then we have one who's not a subscriber, just somebody who happened to be rolling past our video and said,
Oh no!
I can't. This comment is just is factually incorrect.
Okay.
God of War and says Ghost Tsushima.
Yeah.
Were good games, but nowhere near the greatest of all time.
Pardon me? What?
You know,
Mate,
when we made
you had me in the beginning, but clearly,
when we made this this section, I didn't think we'd get comedy gold like this.
Right.
Woo!
That's pretty funny. I was like, oh, it's a real comment. Oh, no, it's not a real comment. It's not a real comment. But thank you for the comedy. I needed that laugh.
We needed that laugh in the morning.
That was good.
Thank you so much. Now we've got that energy. We can head over to the main part of the podcast. Half an hour into the video.
I'm looking at these 1941 pictures. They are glorious.
Are they?
For the Shazam movie. Like, check
baby.
his comparison. Man, that is.
I love how they're comparing it to 2019 Zachary Levi.
Yes.
Like, come on, it's not fair. It's not fair.
Talking of that, Rob, friend of the show, he sent me a picture of Christopher Reeves working out for a Superman movie.
Oh, yeah.
And you know how you think of Christopher Reeves as like, oh, he's a bigger guy, but he's just a guy that gets in a Superman suit. Dude's freaking stacked.
In that picture, he looked ripped.
Did I send it to you?
No, he sent it to me as well.
Oh, he sent it to you. Yeah.
Obviously, he was like Superman guy. Who's the only Superman guy in the world?
Yeah, he was like, if Christopher, I think he said something like, if Christopher Reeve was still around today, Henry Cavill wouldn't have made that part. He never would have got it. Like, look at this man. And he's right. Christopher Reeve's, by the way, my second favorite Superman because I'll tell you what, this is going to be a weird one. My three favorite Supermen go in this. Top three, I'm not putting them in order. Henry Cavill, easily the best Superman.
Yeah.
Dean Cain and Christopher Reeves because they play Superman and Clark Kent so incredibly well.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into the podcast, I swear, but everybody forgets that the character's Clark and he plays Superman and the opposite's true for Batman, right?
Yeah.
The character's Batman and he plays Bruce.
Do you know what they did with... Sorry, we're talking about movies now. It's just no longer the trigger was. I feel like with Man of Steel, they meshed them a bit too close together. Like Superman was often being Clark Kent because Clark Kent really is Superman. That's what he is. So he was being more personal, more all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas the Supermen before were like, when they were Superman, they were like, everybody be great now.
He's playing the
and
role.
then fly off and whatnot. Like, hey, I'm Superman. I'm going to lift this car. Whereas the Superman in Man of Steel was like, I'm a person doing the right thing. I may have the Superman
Clark
symbol.
Kent in cosplay, isn't it?
Exactly.
And it's like, no, Clark gets into the suit to protect Clark and...
They blurred the divide.
Yeah.
They blurred the divide.
I'm with you. Anyway.
Yes, gaming on today's podcast.
It's fine.
We are going to be talking. I'm going to put another tab there because that's 2 minutes ago. On this podcast, we will be celebrating and discussing the 1 year
I need
anniversary.
to know what's going on.
Strange. And the 1 year anniversary of the current gen consoles, the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. So let's go on a little trip down memory lane, shall we?
Yeah, boy.
I'm going to read just some numbers, some statistics, and then we can talk about all kinds of stuff and just get into it. The Xbox Series X launched on the 10th of November, yesterday as of recording today. Launched worldwide, everywhere at the same time, 12 o'clock in whatever time zone. Yeah. And the PS5 launched on the 12th of November, so tomorrow as of recording, in the US, and then on the 19th in the UK and other regions.
I was so salty about that.
I was so annoyed
We were super salty.
Even in the line while we were getting our PS5, we're like, these motherfuckers have had it for a week.
Yep.
We have to wait right here, fuckers. Oh, you didn't get yours for that day as well.
I didn't.
Yeah, you had to wait like a month.
What happened?
I ordered them for us.
You did, yeah.
And one of the orders, they just said,
they just denied the order.
No.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like on the day. It was, we're getting closer, maybe a week away from the actual day. They're like, no, we're not going to do this one for you.
I remember this. So this was an emotion-filled...
And I go and mess it. So what are you going to do about it? It's like, I'm sorry, we're just going to cancel it.
No, yeah, they were like, no, yeah, it's actually your problem, not ours. No, that's not how that works.
Could you at least maybe set one aside in the next batch? So like, sorry, we can't do that. You just have to go and try your luck and do it. Well, the fuck is wrong with you people? You idiots.
Yeah,
anyway,
this was an emotion-filled November for me.
That happened. Yeah. I did then surprise you once I managed to get one a month later, and that was a fun little video. If you haven't seen that on the channel, I think I titled it as "I surprised my best friend with a PS5."
That was fun for me as well because I came in and I was like, weirdly, why is he? You must be doing some promo footage for something. You're going to be like doing an unboxing or something weird. Well, why did you pack your PS5 up? Why would you do that? That's such a strange way to do this. And you were like, no, it's yours. And I'm like, no, but I'm not going to take your PS5. And you're like, no, I got you one.
I got another PS5. This one is yours.
Yeah.
And then the light bulb went off and you're like, oh,
it's
sick.
mine.
Oh my God, I get to go home and play PlayStation 5. Oh my God, this would be great.
Sick.
So yeah, 19th of November for us in the UK and some other markets. To date, PlayStation 5 has sold 13.4 million units as of 28th of October, outselling the PlayStation 4 in this time frame, which is
by a margin as well.
Amazing considering the chip shortage that we've had, the pandemic. People were supposedly, I don't think this is true. They were like, oh, we're spending less because we're not going out. I think people were spending more because they're inside.
Internet shopping, yeah.
Exactly, and entertainment like this is something you want inside. Anyway, that's quite astounding.
Well, also, hold on.
Go on.
Not just all those limitations. PS4 was the fastest selling console of all time, right?
Yes. And this one's outpacing that now.
It was a massive achievement for the PS4 at the time.
Yeah.
And now, in a chip shortage, in a global pandemic,
more expensive,
in conditions like we've never done before, like the whole planet's never locked down over something, in those conditions, and with a chip shortage, it's still outpaced it. Like, crazy. My God.
Crazy to think about.
Massive. Also, the Xbox sold some as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, the Xbox is estimated to be around 8 million because Microsoft don't give their numbers since 2013. Which is so better than the Xbox One. In the same time frame, that's what estimates are saying. Back in July, Xbox gave a statement saying that this is their fastest selling console. Based on estimates, again, people estimate that it's 800,000 units more than the Xbox One sold at that time. So,
a small margin,
something
not quite,
but still,
comparable.
It's the fastest for them.
And also, they're I think what they should have said is fastest selling generation, because they didn't sell one console, did they?
That's another
They sold
thing.
two, and one was half price.
Yes.
Which,
As well as not getting any numbers for consoles, full stop.
Yeah.
We're not going to get a breakdown
We don't
ever
get
of
comparisons.
how many people are buying.
Right.
To be fair, though, I will say Xbox Series S's are semi-readily available.
yes, they are.
Whereas
It seems
the
most
X-
people want the X.
Exactly, whereas people want where the X isn't available anywhere,
Yeah.
which I admire because I prefer to be the guy that buys the nicest thing, buy nice or buy it twice.
Yes, I'm
Nothing
with you
against the
there.
people that
No,
do
I'm with
buy
you
the
there.
S's, but that's the way I've always been, and it seems like the market's dictating that way.
People really, if you're going to get an Xbox, you want the X.
Yeah,
you know, the
unless
S,
you're Ben Fryer, like an idiot who bought an S.
Stupid Ben.
Why do you buy an Xbox in the first place, gosh?
That was your mistake.
We're
Probably
messing
because he
with
can't get his hands on a frickin' PlayStation.
Yeah, to be honest, well, you can't get your hands on an X, so I can't. He's like, well, I
Right.
guess I'm gonna buy this one then. Eh?
Right.
And also, he's a student. Let's fucking give him some slack.
Fair enough, innit?
That was so that's the state of the console sales at the moment.
Yeah.
Been quite fair. I don't understand why the Xbox Series X isn't in stock as much, because I mean, does PlayStation have more pull in terms of getting chips?
No, they don't. Oh,
It's
although
Microsoft, right?
Yeah,
so they should be able to
Microsoft
get more.
should easily be able to manage it. I think
So why are they out of stock if they're selling less? I mean, it should be like more flooded.
I suspect, to be honest, that it's probably a Microsoft marketing move, which is make it look like it's really in demand, knowing that it's not going to matter too much because your sales numbers aren't there. In comparison, I'm not saying it's not selling incredibly well,
Yeah.
but in comparison to like the PlayStation, so you manufacture and make it look like they're more even to the consumer on the street. That's my suspicion.
Nintendo did this famously with
Yeah, they
the
always do.
Nintendo Wii. They manufactured a demand
Yeah.
where they were just making it so like if one was on the shelf, it was bought straight away
Yeah.
because it was the thing. I think there's an element of that going on.
I think there's
here.
an element of it. I also think it's a highly in-demand
Yeah,
console.
yeah.
It is significantly more powerful than the previous generation. It is still got. There are a lot of people that are interested in Game Pass. There's a lot of third-party games, and an Xbox Series X is more easy to come by than a PS5.
Yeah.
And if what you want to play is Call of Duty, Fortnite, Apex Legends, a lot of these cross-play things,
Yeah.
then you get the Xbox.
Yeah.
And you don't care about innovations and gaming. But for real, like it makes sense. There's no reason not to.
Also, it's possible that Microsoft made the wrong bet at the beginning that which one was going to be more popular.
Definitely, yeah.
And
They
they
could have a massive store of S's, thinking that little
And they put
Timmy
all the
would
chips
want
in that.
Right,
They
you're
were
right.
just like, we're going to put all of our bets over here because it's the cheaper one.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
likely to sell. And they didn't anticipate that the market just want the better
Yeah.
one.
And for
Possibly.
anybody that doesn't know how this stuff works, and they're like, well, why don't they take the chips out of that and put them in the X? The wrong chips. That what they will have done is ordered a batch of chips to suit. And what they, instead of, if they could go back, they would take that order a different batch of chips
Yeah.
for when the chips were available.
Yeah.
So you couldn't really do that.
It's all done now.
Yeah, it's all done. Plus, it's not like you can call those stuff back, take them apart, but you don't do that.
Costs so damn much.
Yeah, you would
Could
never do that.
imagine?
So if anybody was like, why don't they do that? It doesn't work that way.
So yeah, that's the console situation right there. Both of them doing well enough, I think.
They are both outpacing their previous generation.
Exactly.
They're
which is
both
good.
doing really well.
Oh.
I think the current generation of Xboxes is on pace to like perform close to what the PS4 was doing.
It's getting. I don't know actually by the numbers, but I think it's I
we
think
said
it's got a
about-
little bit to go to
Oh
get
no,
to that.
it's not at PS4, but it's
Yeah.
looking like it's coming up to that. Which I know we're saying PS4 was the best selling of all time, and then now this has beat that. But if you can
I
match
know.
those numbers, that's massive.
I know what you mean, because the thing is that the PS4 was outselling the Xbox One by like 2-1.
Yes.
And the gap is a bit more narrowing
Right.
sort of area. It's getting closer together
Yeah,
as it goes
they're
along.
catching up for sales.
Of the PS4 anyway, of the Xbox
Yeah.
Series X. PS5 is still going off on its tangent over there.
The point is that it's still growing.
Yeah.
It's still doing well. I think I do think the shortage is twofold. It is because it's hard. We're in a chip shortage and all that stuff. That is a factor, and also I think it's the fake demand thing, which is by the way not a criticism. I just think that's one of the reasons.
It's a business strategy.
Yeah, that is an explanation for why they're out of stock. I'm not saying it's good or bad. In fact, I would actually say it's a good thing. If you're Microsoft, that's a good business move.
Yeah.
Because the average guy on the streets now thinks that PS5s and Xbox Series X's are comparable in demand.
Exactly.
So that's a good move if you're Microsoft, who are doing really well, but in comparison, like they're moving up, and Sony's just pulling away, but they're still moving up. Do you know what I mean?
And there's a lot of gamers out there now where we've become like we're into gaming, and we know there's a cost associated with that, so we just do it.
Yeah.
So people out there who have like, okay, I've bought my PS5, I've heard so much about Game Pass, I've heard so much about these new exclusives that are coming from Microsoft. As soon as they see a Series X, they're like, I'm gonna get it just so it's in my gaming collection, so I can play it whenever I want.
Right.
Gonna get those people as well.
One other thing that we never mentioned, I've always said, because I am very much not a fan of Game Pass overall, like top down looking down, I think it's a terrible idea, terrible business model, and I think the numbers are reflecting that. But considering how Microsoft have trained Xbots, the fact that they're actually buying these things at full price and going for the X, that's really impressive.
Really impressive. They managed to get them on both sides of it. Right?
Yeah,
like, spend money but don't spend money.
Right.
Spend money but don't spend money.
Very interesting.
Only spend money with us, okay?
Yeah, only spend money on hardware and then have nothing to play on. Anyway.
I'll bring this up before I bring up the games part of it.
Yeah.
The big thing that Microsoft have really gone hard with this generation, started in the last generation, Xbox's Game Pass.
Yeah.
Sitting at 20 million subscribers, that's what we've worked out based on numbers from targets and stuff like that, is short of Microsoft's set targets to their executives and stuff like that.
And not an all-time high, but...
Exactly. However, it is...
Massive!
It is massive, considering, and we'll talk a little bit about it in a second, how many games have come out for Xbox? It's all been riding on third-party and older games.
Yeah.
And that's all because Microsoft have been doing their FPS boosts. They've been doing their smart delivery and boosting other games up with not like the developers don't need to necessarily make patches for it. They can boost it themselves and up-res stuff. And it's quite amazing they've got to that number with so little.
It's impressive.
Yeah, it's really cool right there. 20 million subscribers. We'll see how that goes when the next batch of exclusives come out.
Yeah.
Now,
when's the next batch of exclusives?
Well, Halo Infinite and then a long while after that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the games.
Yes.
So, the PS5 launched with Astro's Playroom.
Yeah.
Launched with, that was in the box, that was with everybody for free. Spider-Man Miles Morales, although that was available on PS4 as well. There was the remaster of Spider-Man PS4.
Yeah.
There was the Demon Souls remake. Sackboy: A Big Adventure. Oh, and Sackboy: A Big Adventure. Those are the ones that the PS5 launched with.
Yeah, at launch it had these.
In the rest of the year, we got games like Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart.
Amazing game.
Returnal. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut with the Iki Island expansion.
Oh my god.
Are you a fan of that game?
You know, I keep it under wraps, but I've really enjoyed playing Ghost of Tsushima.
Interesting.
I don't mention it often.
You're a newcomer to the series. Series of one game. Death Stranding Director's Cut with the new DLC. And we got a couple of other exclusives that are exclusive to the PS5, but not first party. Things like Kenna Bridge of Spirits, Deathloop, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, a Neo Collection 1 and 2, and Guilty Gear. And while those aren't like PlayStation exclusives, they're kind of in the middle. They're not... So they are exclusive, but they're not first party. So
things that in this last year you've only been able to play on PlayStation. Let's put it that way. Also, Devil's Advocate, a bunch of these are like remakes, remasters, and like upgrades.
I was going to say the Neo Collection, Final Fantasy VII Intergrade. I want to count that as a normal. I'm going to
call that a new game
because that's made from scratch.
Call that a new game. I'm down with that. But like Miles Morales and Spider-Man 4.
Miles Morales is a new one. Spider-Man PS4 is an upgrade.
So we'll say Spider-Man PS4.
Demon's Souls a remake.
Ghost of Tsushima and
Death
Stranding. They're director's cuts, and I don't think it's fair to call them new games.
Yeah, they're not. They're definitely not new games. While there was a lot of effort that went into them,
absolutely.
I think that was great.
Like, I think any Xbots coming here are going to be like, well, you can these games, and actually you could have played them in the last year. Like, fair enough.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're right.
But these are the ones that you could play in the first year. On the Xbox Series X launched with no games from the first party.
You had game.
No games from the first party.
Yeah.
And the rest of the year, they had Microsoft Flight Simulator, and as of yesterday, Forza Horizon.
But what is there to play on PS5? There's nothing you can play on the PS5. I will say a bunch of the PS5 titles are what are they called? Souls, not Souls, freaking Roguelites, not my
Roguelites,
thing. So functionally take 3 of them out.
I think 2...
3, at least.
I'm only seeing 2.
Wasn't there a Bloodborne thing?
Demon
Bloodborne,
Souls.
wasn't Bloodborne remaster come out?
No. We wish it came out.
I don't know.
No, 2 of them.
Okay.
Anyway, but regardless, that's just your genre, and you don't
Yeah,
really
that's
like
me.
it. That
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
take
still
it
there.
away.
Yeah.
So Microsoft Flight Simulator and Forza Horizon recently.
But where's that to play on your PS5? We've got Game Pass.
They did have some third-party exclusives that came out.
Yeah.
Things like
So did
Death's
we.
Door and The Medium. However,
12 minutes? When did that come? That was
that
exclusive.
was on PC.
Oh, shit.
However, they all have now said that they're coming to other platforms.
Yeah.
That was like a month after they were released. So they're no longer exclusives, and it's kind of like ruined the
Right.
game there. But again, 20 million subscribers with no games on Game Pass. They've sold consoles again with no games available.
Yeah.
No games that are exclusive anyway to the console.
Yeah.
It is an achievement. That's how they've managed to get that many is astonishing to me.
Devil's advocate. It's not like they're all paying for Game Pass.
Yes, but the console,
Yes.
they've sold consoles.
They have sold consoles. That's a true statement. They've sold consoles.
People have bought Xboxes without having anything to play on it,
Yeah.
other than third-party games.
Yeah, that is one. However, look, on the horizon,
Yeah.
oi,
Hoi-hee.
Halo Infinite's in soon.
Yep.
How long?
December 8th.
About a month away.
Yep.
Which, fingers crossed, will be good, even though there's no campaign, no Forge, no co-op. Which, see, here's the thing. Let's just do a quick Halo talk. You've just recently started playing Halo.
Yep.
You played Halo 1, Combat Evolved,
Yep.
and you're going through Halo 2 in the Master Chief Collection. You're experiencing the campaigns. What you aren't experiencing is the, you know how when we were at uni, coming home, like, you're thinking about COD all through your lectures and stuff, come home, play 8 hours of Call of Duty, and all you're thinking about is all you want to do. You're not experiencing that. You're not experiencing doing the campaign on Legendary mode with me or like your other friends, people that can tolerate your existence. You're not running through... You know how like GTA Online has people make their own maps? That's what Forge was.
Right.
So you're not getting to experience it. And so I don't think that how important those things are to the Halo experience really have sunk into you. I'm not trying to take away your enjoyment of Halo, but there are bits that you haven't meshed with it because you've never needed to co-op. You've never had the chance.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me, that is massive. But fingers crossed the Halo Infinite multiplayer is good. Fingers crossed the campaign eventually comes out, which, do we have a timeline on that yet?
No.
So as of right now, there is Halo Infinite in a month. But next year, well, we're still in 2021, aren't we? Shit.
Yes.
I was thinking, next year they're getting Fable, but that's 2 years away still.
That's what we think. We don't know.
Oh, yeah. Well, didn't they release something saying they were targeting holiday 23?
They didn't know. There was a
video
leak.
Leak, yeah.
So go on, keep on with the point.
Well, my point was going to be, there is stuff coming if you're an Xbox.
Yes.
Except it looked like all of those things, as of right now, for the next year, are the things that should have come with Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but it feels like there's not a lot to look forward to if you're an Xbox.
Not in the immediate future. Down the line, there seems to be a lot, but not in the immediate future. That's the games that we've put out there for what's been happening in the last year.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave the games because I feel like we can talk a lot about stuff that we've played over this year, and I want to get all deep into it. I don't want to set any sort of limitations. But how have you felt after 1 year of owning your PlayStation 5? What are the highs? What are the lows? What do you wish you had? What do you find really surprising? Let's get into this good shit.
I'm going to start with complaints.
Go on.
Because it's a shorter list.
Okay.
I freaking hate the UI. Oh my god.
Really?
Oh my god.
That bad? Okay.
I freaking hate it.
Okay, let's talk about this then.
I hate it. Just everything feels like it's in the wrong place.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, when you press the PlayStation button and stuff comes up and you can either quick tap it or hold it. I still haven't got used to which one is which.
Yep.
And then when I do it, where it is, or every now and then you need to manage party settings.
Yeah.
Impossible to navigate.
Yeah, parties are really strange in this. I still haven't figured it out,
Like I
almost don't want to because it's just so annoying.
It used to be that on the PS4 you would, if you wanted to do like a PlayStation chat, you would go form the party, and as you did that, it would invite the people you wanted to invite. Now it seems like you join them.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that sends you an invite. I'm sure it does, but I don't get the invite sent thing.
Yeah, it doesn't seem right, does it?
I freaking hate it.
So strange.
I hate it.
Yeah.
That's my big complaint.
With the UI, we'll talk about what we're talking about. Keep on the same topic. I have noticed it does. They've made it better with the recent update that they've done. However, when it first came
that killed
out,
my PS4 though. I can't access media.
The
on
PS4 is dead now. They're trying to push people over to the PS5.
For the record, I use it now as like a Netflix machine. There is a workaround to get to Netflix because I cannot open the app. It's impossible. So I have to find it in my. Anyway, it's a whole ball ache.
The UI, when we first opened it up, I was like trying to be like, well, there's probably something they've thought about here. They've probably tried to make it better in some way. I just need to get used to it. And then it's greatly improving everything. In the beginning, it really was just terrible. It really was just like, it's like, don't get me wrong, there were some nice little things. People scream about themes. They want themes back. In fact, some people have written in, they're going to read those in a minute. About how they want their themes back for PS5 like they did on PS4, and they want these folders and stuff like that. That part to me is actually good. I like when you move over to a game, it changes the whole background. So
I like it too.
This is all like Cyberpunk was all yellow, and then you move over to Miles Morales, and then he's in the background swinging. I was like, this is great. I like that stuff. And then the music changes based on the game. That's really cool.
I like
the things that got me the most, obviously the biggest one, trophies. They fucking made it so it was like on these like card things across the screen.
Yeah.
And the description of the trophy doesn't fit, so you have to wait 5 seconds, and then it decides to
slowly scrolls,
and you're like, I can read faster than this. Come on. And
why can't it drop down?
Why
can't it drop down? Why can't it drop down?
So freaking dumb. And I was like, you seem to the way they pitched it, they were like, we've made a. We know people like trophies, so we've done something new with it. What we've done, we've ruined it. And it's like,
okay, on this note,
there's a whole PlayStation trophy community. Did you
Yeah.
consult one of them?
was this play tested at all?
You just go,
Or
we
tested.
hear the kids like trophies.
Hello, fellow trophy hunters.
Hello, so I'm holding the skateboard. Hello, fellow trophy
Because
hunters.
talking about trophies, or I think it would be cards, is the way it was presented a year ago. I looked at that and went, man, that's so convenient. Maybe I'll actually do some of this platinuming bullshit like Ed talks about if I can just go to the game, like say hypothetically Ghost of Tsushima, and like pull up the cards and it goes, oh, here are those 5 things you need. Oh, cool, click, and it just takes you there.
Yeah.
Is that in there? It might be, but I have never used it.
This is the problem. The way that it was, the idea is great.
Amazing.
However, it only works for specific types of games,
Yeah.
and then those types of games need to be put in by the developers.
Yeah.
So Ghost of Tsushima, it might work, for example,
It's
where
not the right game for it, but I know what you're saying.
I would say more Ratchet and Clank it would work for, where you can just load straight into a specific planet.
Yeah.
And then you go, okay, cool, that's great. This is where I need to be and go.
Instead of having to be like, okay, load up the game. What's the trophy? Okay, so I need to go to this planet, to this area.
Exactly.
It just takes you there, yeah.
But for any other game, say for example, like I'm playing Death Stranding, and I see the cards, and I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? First of all, it's not going to fast travel you to any location, but also I'm in a specific part of the story. I can't go forward in the story. I can't go back in the story. I have to just start where I finished last time. This doesn't make any... So it's very specific to the game. And I was like, Sony, you had an idea. It's not going to work for everything. But the fact is that you've made it so ingrained and so intrusive in the whole UI.
It really is intrusive.
That now it has to be, if it's not used for anything, it's plainly obvious.
Yeah.
It's obvious in every game that it's not used now because it's in my eyes every 5 seconds.
There was another feature that I thought might be really useful, but I've never used and haven't found an instance to use it, where it was you could get the in-game share footage.
Yes.
Where it would be like, okay, your buddy's playing Ratchet and Clank and can't figure out a thing. Well, just share the footage, and then you can be like, oh, yeah, you're in the wrong place. You need to look over, like, in that cave over there. It's hidden up behind a rock. Like, go left. Yeah, that's the thing. I actually thought that might be useful.
Yeah.
I have not found a single freaking instance where I might be like, yo, Ed, maybe if I was to play like Bloodborne, I'd be
Maybe.
like, let me show you this thing. But again, and it may well be just because we're older.
Maybe.
And we're not like both sitting down at like 7 p.m. till midnight on our consoles at the same time. Like, you've got a family, I've got
Couple of kids in the chat that were like, wait, 7 p.m.
Right.
I'll start at 3 and then go all night to 4 a.m.
Right, exactly. Like, we're not always at our consoles at the same time, and you might not be like, oh, I'll boot up the PS5 and we can do the thing. But so far, we've never had a need to do that.
Yeah.
It seemed like a cool idea. I hope as more games come out that we'll find an excuse to do either of these things, but so far, freaking nothing.
I'll tell you one thing that I used. The Game Help, it's called.
Yeah.
So I had some collectibles in Ratchet and Clank that I was like, I can't find where these are, and I used it for once, and it was
Did the
genuinely
Sony, like,
helpful.
paperclip? Oh, hey, I see you haven't saved your work, but instead it's like chopsticks or something.
It's like, hey, you haven't used. It was these.
Saying that was incredibly racist.
I don't know why you. You know,
Hey, I'm a weeb. It's totally okay. It's my hood pass for
it's true. You do get
for
that.
casual Asian race.
If I said it, it'd be totally out of order because I'm not a weeb, but you, it's no problem.
Right, that's how it works.
I went to to try and find these like golden screws, these golden bolts and whatnot, and it would
Love
tell
a
me where it
golden
is.
screw.
I was like, this is quite helpful.
Yeah.
Again, as a trophy hunter, that is helpful to me, but it's very specific.
Very specific.
Very specific.
Also, did you
And
find that it sort of... I feel like stuff like that should be... The game should be able to tell you've been looking for this thing for a while and not been able to find it. Hey, do you need help?
It's
Because
not that
otherwise...
smart yet, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is in like a dream world. But like, I feel like you can just be like, I'm going to do this as fast as possible. My only desire is to get this thing. Like, here, destroy my love for the game. Tell me where all the stuff is. I'm going to go there, you know?
With the update, I have liked some of the things that they've done. The so you know when you hit the PS button, you hold it down.
Yeah.
It takes you back to the home screen. But if you press it, it brings you up the card system and also the row at the bottom where you can go to certain things like the game base, notifications, stuff like that, and your on, off, or rest mode situation. They put that all the way on the opposite side of the thing, which pissed me off to no end because it made
just come
it
down and go left.
It made it. That's the thing. At the beginning, you was like, press it, right, press up, down, and then and it was so much. Whereas on the PS4, it was like hold down button, down one, press, and off.
Yeah, you could turn it off in a
I could do
split
it in my
second.
sleep.
Yeah.
That's how good it was. Now, with the update, they allowed you to move it over. Yeah. So I've moved it all the way over to where it originally starts, all the way on the left.
Okay.
So it's now hold down, press, and then press. Then we're done. So they fixed it.
Part of that update, by the way, which maybe you didn't notice, before when you pull it up, you could only go right. Now you can go left and go straight there.
Yes.
So I haven't bothered moving it, but
That's another thing, but that was the reason why it was so annoying before. Now, that's a cool thing. As well as that, with the trophies, they've made it so much better where you can, like, pin trophies on the side so you can track them. And then the trackable stuff is really, really cool as well in game. They've made it a lot better. I will say, how do you feel about the whole themes thing that people are moaning about and whatnot, and folders as well, specifically?
folders was cool, I guess, but
Yeah,
I
like, guess. That's it.
Yeah, not something I ever used. I guess if you used it, maybe, but I don't see why I would need it too much.
Some people act like it was the worst thing in the world. I can't believe Sony took away folders. Those bastards.
So I could have like my RPG games and my like FPS. Like just scroll. Personally, I don't see it being a huge issue.
See an issue as well.
But themes, I get.
Yeah.
However, what happened with me was I would pick a theme that I really loved, like the Witcher theme.
Yeah.
And then it would just be on there for 3 years. And then I would switch to the Cyberpunk theme, and it would be on there for 2 years or whatever, right? So it looked great. Also, sometimes had incredibly annoying sound changes. The Witcher one was just a sword, ching, every ching, 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 ching.
You're like,
oh my god,
oh shit, I need to go back.
awful.
Who was the guy that thought that was good?
However, the fact that it functionally changes theme to the thing you're on, I'm cool with. I think it's fine. I think it actually kind of makes more sense in a weird way. Like, who wants to have a Witcher theme up while they're deciding between like Fortnite or Call of Duty? You know. But I'm happy with it. I don't really see a problem. It would be nice to have themes back, but then how's that going to work with the whole interactivity of it.
Yeah, they'd have to change a lot. And people, I see it under every PlayStation post on Twitter.
Yeah.
Anytime they announce the next PS Plus games,
Give us
or they
themes
announce
back.
Give us themes back and folders. I'm like,
No one, you're not going to use it. You're not going to use folders anymore. You don't care, and the PlayStation is fast enough that you don't need to keep stuff in a certain order, and you can move everything along if you need to.
and also I know that like. Maybe it's because it's just the world that we live in, the type of internet that we live in, where we can complain about something enough and get it changed. Cough, cough, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Well, that was a good change.
That was a good change, but that was a drastic change. I would have thought that they wouldn't have done anything because
I agree.
it's such a big thing.
Yeah.
These guys are expecting PlayStation to redesign the entire PlayStation UI just to satisfy their needs to put a Witcher theme on.
But also for things that they don't care about.
Yeah, it's not...
I think people only care because they got used to it, right? But if they give it back, 10 of them will actually do it. Yeah. And then they won't like it, and they'll complain that the UI is static.
There's a bunch of
and
people...
no one's using folders. You say you want it, but really, you're not going to use it that often. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
There's a bunch of people watching now. They're like, I want themes, you're idiots. You're idiots.
Idiots.
Diogo, shut up.
I kind of get themes, but, like, with enough
folders
games...
is the worst one, though.
Yeah, folders is stupid. Folders is a dumb complaint. And also, like, okay, you don't like something, which there's stuff in there that we don't like. Cope, bro.
Yeah.
Like, fucking deal with it. It's not. They're not changing a whole generation because you want folders. It's not happening. And folders aren't worth it. Shut up. Go away. You're stupid. Sit down.
Yeah.
Stupid idiot. Anything else you don't like?
What else do I like?
I'll say it feels to me, especially because 2 of those games are roguelites.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to play
Souls
them.
games, roguelikes. There's a
Same
couple
deal.
of genres in there, yeah.
I do feel like for PS5 exclusive stuff that I can only use my PS5 for, that it's kind of lacking.
That's one of the biggest down points for me. So there's been controversies up and down for PlayStation over this 1 year. A lot of them have been pretty stupid.
Yeah.
You have to pay for the DLC for Iki Island expansion, but then when Bethesda do it, it's totally fine.
I did notice that. By the way,
when you
I'm on such the other end of this spectrum. I was asking to just get haptic for £15.
Yeah.
I will pay for just haptic. Take all the stuff like being able to redo the duels. Don't even care. I just would love haptic. I'll pay 15 quid for it. That's what I was saying. And then they were like, "Oh, 15 quid. You get haptic. You get the duels. You get Iki Island." Yeah. I was wet dreamland for me. Yeah.
There was that, but those were all pretty stupid. These things that they were saying. The one that really got me going, however, the one that really, really poured the salt in my wound, was just this idea that all these games that are coming out from first party, they're going to be available on PlayStation 4. Oh, don't worry, we'll be making it to the best of the PlayStation 5's ability. We know that's not true.
That's not true.
The fact that you're lying to my face is disrespectful, one, but also that makes it so much worse. If you said we're going to do this and be like, look, this is the business decision, we're going to do it this way, you're still going to have fun with the game. I'll be like, I really hate I wish you wouldn't. But okay, you've done a thing, see you later, goodbye.
Don't treat me like an idiot.
But then you treat me like an idiot.
Yeah.
And that's the bit I can't get over. Same way I can't get over the hypocrisy of some of the things that Xbox says, because then you're treating me like an idiot.
And also they had Cyberpunk as a blueprint to see that it obviously doesn't work, right?
If you cater for these way less powerful machines, you're going to come into problems, or you're going to have to cut back everything.
And the really worst thing, I painted this scenario back in the day when we got this confirmation, but I do believe, totally making this up, it's my own headcanon, that someone came into the office and said, Corey, I've got this incredible idea. Now, with the PS5 stuff and this architecture, we can make this thing work. Can we do it? Can we do it? Like, come on, I've been thinking about doing this for 10 years in gaming. This is how I want to do my storytelling mechanic, right? And it's like functionally, for whatever they're doing in God of War, like the Ratchet and Clank Portal stuff.
Yeah.
It's something like that can only be done on the PS5.
Requires that hardware, requires the speedy stuff, whatever it needs to be.
Yeah, and the guy's like, amazing idea. No.
We can't.
We can't because PS4s have to run it. A base PS4 has to run this thing. And it's like, just at some level, there's no good reason to do it, especially with how fast PS5s are selling. I understand it.
It's more than the PS4 was back then, so there's more out there.
I understand it. I get it. But I still believe it's the wrong decision.
Yeah.
And I'm so freaking salty about that.
Also, at the time, and this is fucking hilarious looking at it 1 year afterwards, and we said this at the time, but don't worry about it. We're just going to perpetually be correct here on Conbrosations, but just forget about it.
Yeah.
At the time, Microsoft was saying, we will not be making exclusive games for the Xbox Series X for the first year.
Pro gamer, pro consumer, pro gaming.
Our games will be available both on Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S, as well as the previous generation, Xbox One and X and stuff like that. Yeah. Because we think about our fan base and we are pro-consumer. And then they don't release a game in a year.
Yeah, that's why they're doing it.
That's why they're doing it, because they had nothing coming.
And it was genius, because they totally changed the discussion, and they scuppered two of the best games. To be clear, Horizon Forbidden West and God of War Ragnarok would have been bullets to the head. Yeah. That would have killed the generation. And what they did was they changed the conversation and made it so that Sony believed that the best decision was to make it so that the previous gen could play it, and in doing so,
crucially made the fan base believe it, and then they hammered on.
And in doing so, it has massively reduced the quality of the product. I'm not saying it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, if they made it for PS5 only, and just were like, let's freaking stretch the legs of this freaking console. Yeah. You know how the PS5's currently quite silent?
Yeah.
Let's make it sound like a PS4. Let's really run this bitch.
Let's go.
Right. But they changed the discussion, so like, oh no, turn it down. Base day of release PS4's got to be able to run this thing.
Yeah.
Like that. Frick you, Microsoft! You're the root of all evil.
Root of all evil, and Jim Ryan as well. You're terrible.
But I will say, so that's my big complaint about the PS5 is it feels like other than like Ratchet and Clank, there's nothing that I could only use my PS5 for. There's been games. There's been new games.
There's other games that I like obviously like Deathloop and Returnal, but they're not your type of games. They're not everyone's type of games.
Which is fine. So to be clear, I feel like I'm feeling it more harshly because there's a bunch of games that technically would be new, but I feel like Returnal could probably be played on a PS4, PS4 Pro, could be played on PC, could be played on an Xbox. Yeah. I feel like Ratchet and Clank, in comparison to, there's no way that runs on a PS4 or even a PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
You know,
they might be able to make it work, but they would have to make concessions in a lot of areas. Right. And then is it the same game?
Exactly.
Is it the same game then?
And so I just wish there was a couple more like that where I was like, man, can you believe that this is what games look like now, you know?
Yeah.
But there have been games. Like, I don't want to say there haven't been games. It just feels like I could be playing this on my PS4.
I feel like that's everything that
Those are all my criticisms.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about good stuff.
Yeah.
I think you're probably going to agree with this one. One of the biggest, best, greatest advancements that the PlayStation 5 has brought us, the DualSense controller.
Oh my god.
How did we live before the DualSense controller? It should just be known in time now. Forget AD and BC.
Yeah.
It should just be like, no, it's before the DualSense and after the DualSense.
BDS and ADS.
Exactly. That's the way it goes. BDS... There we go. It should just be known as that because while we had great fun with the normal controller, everything was great. But when we got the DualSense controller, and then we played Astro's Playroom for the first time, and then after that moment, we're like, oh my god, this is amazing. Every game afterwards, we were checking it out. I bought Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, even though I don't give a fuck about Call of Duty no more, just so I can feel the different guns and how they feel on the triggers. And then I bought the next game, and I was like, yes, the way that the haptics go.
Play Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima, I haven't played that game. No, but it's, again, fantastic. The way that they did the flutes. Oh, you're thinking, okay, the triggers are going to have different pulls on them because like a gun trigger, no problem. A bow, when you pull it back, it's going to have tension. You don't think how the controller's going to vibrate in a way that if you was
makes it feel heavy.
If you was playing like a fluted instrument, it would vibrate. And the control vibrates in that way, in different pitches. How? Magic! That's how!
It's so good. And look, it's not just us that thinks that. Microsoft immediately recognized the threat. Right, so Microsoft. The one thing about them that I don't understand is they know the threat, and aren't doing anything about it, as far as it seems. They released the report about The Last of Us 2, which is basically a report on these are the games Sony are making. This is the recipe they're following. We've broken it down. Maybe we should make something. We're not gonna, but maybe we should.
No.
And then they're like, DualSense. Would you guys be interested in having a controller that isn't from 1996?
And then they get the results back, and it's like 100% yes. I see that.
Interesting. Well, we're not going to put money into that R&D. And one of the things that
Maybe
I love
on the
about
next console.
one of the things that I love about also the 3D audio, which has been so good I haven't actually noticed it, which is a compliment.
You're just like, oh, it just sounds fantastic.
Oh my god, I'm so immersed. The 3D audio and the DualSense, with how like very specific sounds come out of the DualSense, where I've had multiple occasions where playing, in this case it is Ghost of Tsushima, where you come to like the coast and you're like, you hear waves. I'm like, what the? Oh yeah, it's in the game. Because the sea's behind me.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
Yeah, it's sick. The DualSense and the 3D audio are so incredible. There was no need for PlayStation to do it. The competition was doing nothing.
Yeah.
That's NUFFIN. Nothing.
Nothing.
They were doing nothing, and they just leapt forward multiple generations into the future with just immersion. If you have, I think we were playing Astro, or we booted up your PS5. You got about like 5 minutes in, and you were just like, "Here, touch this."
You have to touch it.
Yeah, you have to experience it. I think it was at the part where all those things come around, and there's the little bots in the thing. You can feel them rolling around in the controller.
Yeah, and it was because you turn them side to side as if like they're moving around in there, and one side just feels more weighted somehow.
And also, like if there's one that lingers, you can feel it there.
Yeah.
If you haven't had a chance to play with the DS5, you really need to play that. The DualSense is incredible.
It's truly an innovation.
Absolutely mind-blowing. It's a massive improvement. Massive.
PC gamers are like, I don't understand. Why would I want my keys to shake? It's like...
mechanical keyboard goes click-clack.
It goes click-click. That's all I care about.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
I'm looking forward to experiencing...
I can't... Honestly, I really love it. It's fantastic. One of the best parts about the PlayStation 5. And every game that comes out now, I always look, what's the DualSense support like? Yeah. Anytime there's a review discussion, that's one of the things now that we put down. Yeah. And that's why I think a lot of games are now getting reviewed on PlayStation over Xbox, is because the game will be the game regardless. It'll play on that one. The only thing you need to check for is like how solid it is in performance.
Well, didn't we say this?
And then there'll be, we did say this. We called it, where we said there'll be a section where we'll be like, okay, and now DualSense support. It's like, how does that work? Yeah, it's actually fantastic. It does this. Oh, it's not implemented so well in this game, so and so. And then all the reviews just are PS4.
At the end of the day, if the game is cross-platform, then you want to play it on a PS5.
Yeah.
Because the DualSense and the 3D audio... I didn't think it was going to be that much of a split. I thought you'd get a bunch of people who had both and loved the game on both who go, I don't know why, but I just prefer playing it on the PS5. I thought most people were going to do that. Turns out people are just like, yeah, play it on the PS5. Yeah. The DualSense is incredible, but it's so much better than you actually realize.
Yeah.
To the point where I love God of War. I'm not going to... And I've been craving replaying it, but since I've had the DualSense... I just can't bring myself to play a game without it.
Yeah.
Especially God of War, because I know what's going to happen is they'll release the update with DualSense and I'll have to play it again, so I'm just going to wait.
So you can experience it that one time and just fall off your seat.
I've been craving playing God of War 4. I've been craving playing The Witcher 3 again, actually, and the DLCs in particular, Blood and Wine. But I know these updates, maybe not the Witcher one, but I know God of War's coming. My God. Like, it's a brand new game. It's a brand new game. I replayed Ghost of Tsushima entirely because it's a brand new game. It sounds dumb, but seriously, oh my God. What a controller. Oh my God.
It brings new life to games.
It's so sick. And also the best thing is, moving forward, next generation, we know the PS6. I'm calling it now. That's what they're going to call it.
Probably. They've got a good naming system. They're not just going to go one.
Yeah. The PS1 again.
One again, you know?
That'll have it, obviously. Yeah. Maybe the Xbox will compete. They'll probably do the MW3 thing where they just compete with their last controller instead of the current PlayStation 1.
The audio system that they did, that was so terrible.
Awful. But I do think that moving forward, because the thing that obviously Microsoft don't care, and they're not bringing you any games, at least right now, hopefully that changes. But Sony are, and so well, not only how good is the game and the experience, well, what are the ways in which you are connected to the game? The sound, the controller. Okay, well, we need to make these things, bring them in.
Yeah.
So, man, massive. Also, this has mostly been DS5 talk, but the 3D audio is incredible.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, how different is it going to be from, like, standard surround sound or Dolby sound or whatever it's going to be, but it is genuinely really good. I was confused at one point because do you remember when Mark Cerny was talking about it in the deep dive first of all, and he was talking about sending pictures of your ear to Sony, and then they would give you like a custom profile that you can load on your PlayStation. Then I was like, what the fuck is all of this? Like, what are you talking
this is some
about?
weird ear fetish.
You just want ears, don't you?
Mark Cerny with terabytes of ear pictures.
You see someone breaks into his home, he's there in tighty whities, just like, it's not what you think. It's
just
not
stains
what you think.
all over here.
But I haven't sent my ear into anyone, but they've built up a database of what the most common sizes are, and you can set the pitch of like what level it sounds at, and they tell you what to look for. But once you set it as well, it gets even better than just the standard setup. And I'm like, this is great.
Have you done that?
Yeah.
I might have to do that.
You need to go in the settings. It's like, it's weird. They go, okay, we're going to play some sounds for you. They should be like sort of at your ear level where you think is your ear level.
Right.
And they play a different sound. You're like, no, up one. And it sounds like the sound is moving up in the thing. And it's so fucking great. It's so fucking great.
Most people
fine-tune it.
Most people are not going to, but if you're interested in tech, go and watch that. I think it's from 2019.
Yeah, I think it was 2019, yeah.
It's fascinating. And also when you consider that they didn't need to do that.
Nope.
It's just something they did because they wanted to do better. So Microsoft, do better.
Please.
Anyway, the 3D audio and the DualSense 5 are incredible. The level of immersion is mind-blowing.
Yeah. One thing I will say about the... I wanted to mention as well, if any one of you guys have got Returnal, that is another great example of the DualSense controller using all the haptics and the stuff like that. There was one point where like it's raining and you can feel it in the controller.
Yeah.
I remember setting down my controller on the desk and it was raining through the controller. And I was like, is it raining outside or something like that? Because you can hear just tick, 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 tick,
yeah.
tick, tick. And I'm like, oh, this is so great.
It's so good. And look, I think a lot of the Xbox just like, oh, you're talking about this for too long. You don't know what you're missing. And the reason I know that is because last generation neither did we.
Yes.
You know, like it's only this generation this has happened. The level of immersion and the quality as well, because on the PS4, like the DualSense 4 would DualShock, the DS4.
He's now saying it.
No,
He's become a full-on DualSense.
That's it. DS4
pony.
and DS5. The DS4 would give you that wind noise for Ghost of Tsushima. Like you'd swipe the pad and you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
In comparison, it's just a
cool
basic,
little feature. Oh my god, ridiculous!
So basic.
And even that was pretty advanced compared to what the Xbox did, which was be a controller. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what people do with this thing because the audio, the DualSense, like oh my god, it's so good,
so good. What else should we say? What else? I have to say something about the storage.
Yeah.
So
trash.
One thing I have to say, the expandable storage didn't come out at launch, which was a big, stupid move.
Yes, massively stupid.
My God, what the fuck were you thinking, Sony?
So dumb.
You should have had that ready at launch. That's one thing you should have had. They claimed it was something to do with they were testing to see what heat sinks would work for it.
Lies.
All bullshit, because when they came out, they were like, yeah, you need a M2 card with a heatsink. They didn't get into specifics. They didn't say, it needs to be the rule. It was just like, yeah, go out and find something.
And also,
what were you testing then?
Like, these guys, 6 or 7 months into the life cycle, had a new heatsink that they were bringing out internally anyway.
Exactly.
This is bullshit.
All just nonsense.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Anyway, however, now that it's here, I've put it in my console and I've not had to think about it. It was like 2 seconds to fucking fit. I've not had to think about it, and the storage is amazing now. I did have to pay more for it. That like you have to pay more for storage for anything that you buy, computers or whatever. But
it's worth the money.
It's
I need
convenient.
to do mine.
It's so convenient. It's in there now, and on the PS4 5 you can set. It's like PS4 games. I want it to be even though both of the memory that I've bought,
Yeah.
the memory that I've got inside of the PS5 and the expandable storage are both really fast.
Yeah.
I was like, my PS4 games are going to go on the expandable
Of
storage.
course, yeah, that's the way to do
And
it.
PS5
yeah.
games on my internal storage.
Yeah.
And you set that once, you don't even need to touch it again.
Yeah.
And I've never had a problem. Just go like that. Don't need to uninstall anything. Just keep going, keep
Yeah.
going, keep going. I'm so happy with it.
I need to do the upgrade myself because we're coming up to Battlefield,
Yes.
and I know I'm going to have to delete something. Now, for some reason, I still have Cyberpunk on there. I haven't been able to.
That's an odd choice.
Yeah, so I have not been able to bring myself to delete Cyberpunk yet.
Just stop resisting. Don't
Yeah.
make this hard for both of us.
Yeah, only dreams now. Yeah. Yeah. It's so. It honestly feels like an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
And I'm not joking because the highs with like the Pan Am stuff
Yeah.
were so high, and the rest of those lows were so low.
Yeah.
And like there were glimpses of glory in between. So it was like these huge peaks,
Yeah.
and then there's these like massive spikes of incredible combat, or like this incredible character,
Yeah.
and then back to trash, and then like that ending being so awful. But like, oh, it's Keanu. But like, what's he really doing?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Keanu. Oh, what's he saying? And I haven't been able to bring myself to delete it. I think I actually have one mission left.
Yeah.
There's some space thing at the end. I think. I don't know. So I think probably tonight I will just wrap that up, call it good. But then a bit of me wants to go back and experience the Judy stuff.
Yeah. That's the thing. I'm playing it. Well, I started playing it on PC,
Yeah.
playing Mail V, so I could experience the Pan Am stuff that you
So
spoke so
worth
highly
it.
of.
So worth it. Seriously worth it.
However, I've dropped off of it.
Yeah.
I've dropped off of it because it was like you said. You coined this. You said it's easy to put down,
It's so easy to put down,
and
right?
that's not a good sign of a good game, is
It's
it?
awful. I put it this way: Witcher 3, I couldn't put it down.
Yeah.
God of War 4, anytime I managed to, I was called back.
Yeah.
I was like, like freaking teleported back to it. I had to finish that freaking game. Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us 2, had to finish these games.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk, I found it easy in the middle, at the height of the game. The crescendos of the game. Put it down, not touch it for 2 weeks. Such a weird thing. And then a bit of me is like, oh, well, just because this is my cure for stuff. I'm one of these guys that believes difficulty in gaming is a tool,
Yep.
and it's a tool that you meant to find your peak enjoyment. And if you're having trouble, freaking drop the difficulty.
Yeah.
Get over the thing, put it back to where you're having fun.
If you're a loser, yeah, do that.
I know that's not a common take, but I believe it's a tool.
That's true.
You know,
It is true. That's what it is.
It's a saying you can change. If you're not having fun, what's the point of the game? To have fun.
Yes.
Make it so you're having fun.
Yes.
And a bit of me is like, we'll just whack it onto easy, blitz through it, because we know where like those mantis arms are, and we're good at games. Just can't be asked.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to probably finish that up, delete it, put Battlefield on.
Well, you've only got tonight because tomorrow
I'm
it
gonna
comes
do it-
out.
I'm doing it tonight. I'm gonna
But
do it
you,
tonight.
by the way, you have to download it first thing in the morning because
It's gonna
servers are
be
probably
a
going to
thousand.
It's probably
Yeah.
going to be quite large, but you're probably going to have to do it because the servers are going to be packed, and we do have a stream.
Yes,
If
we
you're
do.
not there, God help me, I will fucking start without you, and I'll be doing my Sheps. We are Oscar Mike. Are you Whiskey Johnson Foxtrot? Nothing. And then nothing. Okay.
First of all, I'm totally down to do actual military call-outs.
I would love to do that. I'll
Second,
research a couple.
I'm actually gonna wake up early and
Good.
do it. Actually, can we start at midnight? I'll just stay up till midnight.
I think you can.
Yeah, I'll just do that. And so I'm gonna just do whatever I think it's. God, I hope it's an actual mission. I'm not gonna play a random mission on Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
But all of that to say, the storage freaking sucks. It's just unfortunate, and new games are so big. Or if you download Warzone, it's like 1 million gigabytes.
The biggest, not issue actually, because it's a good thing. It's good because we're advancing in technology.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is that because it's such a proprietary, such a fast, such a new type of memory
Yeah.
in the PlayStation 5, when you want to buy the external storage, you have to go for something that's fairly pricey.
Yeah.
It has come down even in price since I bought it. I think I paid something like 180 for
Yeah.
my one, but it's come down to like 130 for like a terabyte of space.
I think it's worth
is,
it, by the
which
way.
is great. That's the thing, it is worth it. And like I said, you're paying for convenience and peace of mind.
Yeah.
I just chucked it in. I've never had to think about it again. Do you want that? If you want that, then I think it's worth that money.
Also, look, a bit of me early on in the generation, I said, look, the speed of this thing, it's not too big of an inconvenience to just like delete something, stick the disc in, and load it back up. True.
Yeah.
But even less of an inconvenience is paying a little bit extra money for your incredible hardware so that it can do its job even better, even faster, and you don't have to juggle. Because what is in there? It's 800 in there, right?
825, but I think it's like 660 usable.
660 is usable.
Yeah.
And the reality is it's actually not that much. It's probably 4 PS5 titles. Maybe 5.
No, it'd be more than that because now they've gone down in size as well. PS5 games.
That's true. Yeah,
the
they
technology, whatever it's called.
That's right. The Kraken compression.
So it's like 30 gigabytes per game now.
Well, it depends on what you're doing
70.
because if you have third-party games, that's what I should have said. I said PS5.
Some of those don't do it.
Some of these things are massive. Absolutely massive.
Call of Duty Warzone.
It's like 150 gigs.
Fucking ridiculous.
It is insane.
When they came out with their statement, our games update, our recent update, no longer works on PlayStation 4, on a base PlayStation 4. The required amount of space for the game plus the update is more than 500 gigabytes. Therefore, you cannot play the game on base. That should have been a red flag to everybody. That should have been.
That's a warning sign right there.
Even business-wise, internally, it's like if we can't get on the most popular console out there,
we're just gonna delete 100 million potential
then
players.
surely we need to fix this.
We need to work on compression. We need to maybe batch this patch
Something.
so that it should go out in like stages of 60 gigabytes or something.
Yeah.
Like, how can we make it so this game cannot fit? Because if you're not aware, you need at least as much size as the size of the patch free for it to sort of like work within. When it's done, the size of the game won't really have changed, but it needs that free space to do stuff, to do writing and copying and shit.
Move stuff around, remove stuff, put stuff
Right.
in, copy it over there. And oh my god, that is a ridiculous statement to have to put out.
Absolutely insane.
I'd be embarrassed to say it.
Yeah, you should be. Oh my god. But in summary, the memory in the PS5 is good. It's better than what I had in my PS5, and I made that my PS4. I made that work.
Yeah.
And suffered doing it. It's still good, and the speed of it makes it much more convenient. I'm going to be putting in the hard drive sometime soon.
Yeah. Anything else I can think of? I do love that it's so goddamn silent.
It's
Especially in comparison to the PlayStation 4 jet engine that we got to live with.
Oh my god. I will say
I
though,
was mad. How did we put up with that?
I have no idea. Early on, people were saying, "Oh, it's so big and it's so ugly."
That's what she
Personally,
said. So big
never
and
had
ugly.
that complaint.
Ugly I've had, yes.
Yeah, I understand that one, not the first one. Personally, from day one, I liked the way it looked.
Yeah.
I have no problems with the size of it. I think it goes next, just like that. It goes next to my TV.
Perfect.
So it's kind of almost an Art Deco accent piece anyway.
Yeah.
As if anyone looks at it, but if you were gonna, it looks fine.
Yeah.
It's silent. I think it looks good. I love the look of the DualSense. Caveat, I'm probably going to spend as much money as on that hard drive on a Ghost of Tsushima case for it, because my god, those things were beautiful.
Get some custom panels on
Oh,
there.
so
Ghost
just
of Tsushima.
clean. But,
Jin with his sword.
oh my days. However, also, why are they not doing Sony? They're removable panels. What are you doing? What are you doing? We're idiots. We alone can probably make this business model profitable.
Yes, us just by ourselves. We buy one of every
Right.
favorite character we have,
Yeah, what are
possibly
you doing?
alternate
Yeah,
versions.
what are you doing? Yeah, bruv, are you kidding? You think I wouldn't buy 3 Ghosts of Tsushima? Are you dumb?
This one's in red.
You-
But this one's in
You
black.
think I'm not going to buy myself a Joel skin and an Ellie skin and then a Joel and Ellie skin?
Oh yeah, you need them both together as well.
And kid Ellie and Joel and then older Ellie and Joel?
Yeah,
you think I'm
yeah.
not? So that's 4 just for Last of Us.
And then
That's
just for
4.
the memes, I'd get one of Abby as well, just for the memes.
I would get one of Abby doing mini golf. I'm not even joking.
Just half mid swing like that. Just like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
PTSD moment right there.
So I don't know why they're not doing that. That triggers me.
Yeah.
The way it looks, not been a problem. The size, not been a problem. It's silent. It's great. It's slick. I'm loving the PS5. A little bit of me actually kind of wants to get a Series X.
Yeah.
Styling wise, it kind of looks like a Borg cube. and I've always thought those look cool.
Yeah.
Don't
I
mind
do
it.
like the green accent in the vents
Me
at the
too.
top. That looks really cool.
Me too. I again and genuinely take away all the console war stuff. I just don't think there's anything to play on it.
Yeah, there's it's worse for me as well because I happen to have the streaming rig here.
Yeah.
It's an extra limitation for
Yeah.
me because I can play anything that Microsoft are going to put out on PC.
And you can
And
play
I
it
can
on a
play
DualSense.
With a DualSense controller, the way all games are meant to be played.
As God intended.
And in better settings, with more freedom and for cheaper.
Yeah, exactly.
It's literally me going back if I buy an Xbox Series X. It will only be purely for scientific purposes for us to have discussions to talk about, which may happen one day, but for the foreseeable
not
future,
worth
I
it.
don't think so.
It's certainly not worth it. Like, for example, we have a Patreon.
Yeah.
We could use the Patreon money and buy one.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
But we're too busy buying hats and streams.
Facts! Business expense! At least your one actually
Fucking
blows.
hell, it does something it does it whenever it wants to, right? Oh, so it goes too far down and that's what it is. There you go.
There you
that's
go.
kinda
If only
cool.
we'd have tested this before we started. Like, there's no reason for us to buy one.
Yeah.
Especially, like, say, the streaming rig is here, so there's no sense for it to be here. The reality is, even if it was at mine, I wouldn't be playing it because there's nothing to play on it as of yet. Now, in
Yes.
2 years' time, if Halo Infinite comes out fully,
Yep.
and fingers crossed it's good, which I'll be honest, it's 343. I have no faith in them whatsoever. At least for the story stuff. I do believe they could do great online. I think they can
Yeah.
probably do that. No problems there, but
And then Fable might be good when it comes out.
with Fable and Halo,
And you never know what other Bethesda game might
Right.
come out that might be decent. Starfield could be good. We don't know anything about it, but it
do
could
you
be
know
good.
what? If I was Bethesda, if I was the guy running Bethesda at Microsoft,
Good old Todd.
I
go
would
on.
take all of the emails from Sony,
Yeah.
swap the title name, and just take that as if that was the demand for the game, and then make them make it pretending I was Sony. Not pretending I was Sony, but like acting as Sony.
Yeah.
Because obviously they can tell them to make good decisions. And with good decision making, Bethesda can make a good game. It's
Yeah.
been proven now. We now know for sure the issue at Bethesda is internal management, without doubt. Without any doubts, right?
Yeah.
So look, I'll be straight up. An actual Fable successor title and an actual Halo successor title. So that would be Halo 4 then.
Yeah. Because they only made 3. Get it?
Because
Get
they
it?
only made
Get it?
3. That genuinely would be enough for me to get an X. Because as you're experiencing, Halo's worth it. Halo is a
Yeah.
console pusher.
Yeah.
Unless you kill that whole franchise by making Game Pass and then... Like, again, you should never buy it. If they do make a Halo successor, you've got that. That's
Yeah.
the way to play it.
Yeah.
Right? But for me, because the streaming rig's here, I'd probably do it because I'm an idiot. And I freaking love Master Chef.
And you're a gamer, crucially, as well.
Facts.
So is you your true game on your t-shirt right there. One thing I do want to point out as a criticism, and this is pretty much
Yeah.
the only thing left for the
Yeah.
PlayStation 5. This was an issue since launch.
Yeah.
I made it very apparent before the console came out, before we knew anything. If this was going to happen, I would be very angry.
Yeah.
PlayStation heard my cries.
And
I
specifically
know
did
they
the thing.
acknowledged it internally. I know it was a memo going round.
Right.
I'm part of the email chain. And they went and did it anyway. The console light turns on and it's blue.
I'm
And then
heated.
seconds after it's on, it turns white. Why?
This was a complaint for 7 years on the single best-selling console of all time. It was a #1 complaint for most of us.
Hey, just doing a
If
survey.
there was anything you could change, what would it be?
What would you change about the PlayStation 4? Well, the first thing, first of all.
All right.
The promo material of it being blue is fantastic. I don't know why the fuck it changes to white when it turns on.
Why would you do this? It's so... Look, it looks clean. I get it. It's so freaking ugly. I want the blue light. That's what I want. There's a reason you show it in your promo looking that way. And
Because you think it looks good, right?
And it's not because it's visually more able to stand out. Because there are ways you can make the white light stand out.
Yeah.
And make it look good. It looks better. We all know it. That's why we want it to be blue, you mother frickers. One caveat to that. one caveat to that. I actually want the light bar editable.
Yeah, you've been saying this as well since they were like, come on.
Because, look, if you do me an all-black PS5 with a black DS5 and
Which
give
you
me
know
like
is coming.
a Darth Vader skin,
Woo!
I want that like red, and I want it to... Look, if I set it and they say, look, you're changing the lights, they now mean different things, it's your responsibility to
diagnose it.
Yeah, fine. Cool. Also, you just upload that to the website and be like, okay, you've changed to this setting, this is what these mean.
Yeah.
I want a Darth Vader PS5.
Yeah.
But in the absence of the Darth Vader PS5, give me the blue frickin' light. What the frick? I actually have one more complaint that I forgot.
Go on.
No web browsing. Because some of us sail the seven seas for our anime.
Some of us.
Weird question.
Yeah.
Are there prawn apps for the thing? How are people
What are
watching their
prawn
porn?
apps? Oh, I see. Oh, prawn. I was like, what's a prawn app? I don't know. I don't know how they're watching it
Is
through the
Pornhub
PS5.
up there? Or?
This is the funny thing. So every year, like Pornhub put their stats out of like
Yeah.
where people are watching it.
Oh my god, these are hilarious. The freaking console ones are
Like,
hilarious. They
what
kill me.
people are watching on most.
On PSPs!
That was the odd one.
On
Like
PSPs.
PlayStation Vita and PSP were like oddly like 30%. It's
It
like
was a
what?
lot. It was a lot of console, yeah.
People are really still. They're just like, you know what? I need a handheld thing right here.
Right.
Let's go. Or handheld. Let's not be sexist.
Of course,
here. It could be
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
DJ scratching right there.
DJ's going
But the PS5, if it doesn't have a browser, it could very well be 0 the next thing we see. However, if it comes back and it's like 10%, I'll be like, where life finds a way, you know? When it's porn, life finds a way.
What's going to be really funny now is when we boot up the stream and it's just like one of the icons there is just the orange. Whoops, sus. I need folders back, Sony.
God damn it, I need that's why they need folders.
Aha!
We figured it out. You bastards, we know
You
that.
horny little shit.
You only little bastards. We gotcha. Yeah, that's the only complaint I have with the console.
So far, I've really loved it.
Yes.
I do genuinely wish there was a bit more that I could look at it and go, man, I'm so glad I have this. I couldn't play this on anything else.
Yeah.
And like we said, those other complaints, but it's good. Like the card thing, don't need it.
Yeah, as far as those things go as well, they're stuff
They're
you could
minor
easily
complaints.
avoid and easily ignore.
Yeah,
The game thing, however,
it's a bit annoying. But
wish we just had more exclusive
fairness-
games, properly made for the console.
in
Tailor-made.
fairness, we're complaining that we don't have enough games. There aren't any on Xbox, other than Forza just now.
Yeah.
So in the absence of like in a vacuum of just Sony, it's a complaint.
Yeah.
Looking at everything else, not so much. Like, okay, people go, oh, well, the Switch has all this stuff. Yeah, but the Switch is like 5 years old. They know people want a more powerful one, and they're not bringing it out. They're just giving you a better screen. Do you know what I mean? So, like, in comparison to the landscape, we're actually in a good spot, an okay spot. I would argue that actually Forza, people might not like this, is of the exclusive titles of each one, by far the strongest.
Yeah.
So I want a Forza level, which should have been Horizon Forbidden West, should have been God of War, but they're not, in my opinion. But I think we need a game that bangs like that.
Yeah.
I know we shit on Forza, like we shit on Forza in a vacuum, like it can't win Game of the Year because there's no game in it. Alpha Aquililla, I don't care if you say there's character in there. There's not. There's not. Get fricked.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. Bless
Man
him.
has shit taste. He's one of our patrons.
He's one of our fans. How could he have good taste? We don't have, obviously, because we don't have Xbox Series X's, we can't give any commentary on that. But people have written in with that, and I'm going to read that out in a little bit. So don't worry if you're thinking, oh, when they're going to talk about Xbox, we're going to talk about that. Not in a Game of the Year type of discussion or anything like that. But what have you just most enjoyed playing over this 1 year on your PlayStation 5?
You go first.
Honestly, I was not the biggest roguelite fan.
Yeah.
I wasn't like clamoring. Like I like my Souls games.
Yes.
I like my Bloodborne
Yeah, you like
and whatnot. I love them. I'll play them. I'm great. But I love my FPSs.
Yeah.
And I love my narrative-driven like action adventure games and stuff like that. I never said that about any sort of roguelite game.
No, I knew you played them, but you never like banged on about them continuously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
However, when Returnal came out and when Deathloop came out and I played them, my God, did I have fun!
Is Deathloop
Deathloop is a roguelite.
Okay.
Yeah. It's got a little bit of its own flavor
sure,
on
yeah.
it, so it's a bit of a different one. But it's like a loop thing, and you're playing it again. You lose everything if you come back. So same sort of deal. But my God, is that so fun? And you think like, you know, 2 back to back. Granted, they have their own take on things. You think 2 back to back, it'll be like, okay, we're getting too much now. This is a niche game anyway. You can't have too many of them. I was completely happy, and I can't wait to complete them all now, so I can talk about it for like actual Game of the Year discussion. They were fantastic, and I did love my Ratchet and Clank for all the visuals and things like that.
Yeah.
And I love getting to play Death Stranding again. The beautiful visuals. Same goes with Ghost of Tsushima. But that really surprised me, and I was like, okay.
I kind of want to borrow Returnal.
Yeah?
Deathloop doesn't really do anything for me personally. Returnal seems interesting, and I also, weirdly, since 2019, since Ghost of Tsushima came out, I am loving the idea of people doing shit they have no right to be doing and killing it.
Yeah.
So, like, if you don't know Returnal, and you can see the Rezo gun in Returnal.
You can feel some of the way the what do you call the stuff that emits from the enemies?
Laser goop.
The energy balls, the goops, the things
balls.
they shoot at you.
It feels like one of those old school Alien Invader type games, right?
Things, right.
But going from Resogun to that is ridiculous. Same with going from Infamous Second Son to Ghost of Tsushima. Every time I see someone like that and they hit the ball out of the park, just that on its own gives like I do not like roguelites. Like it's not my thing. I don't like it. I don't like it as a concept. It's just it's not for me.
Losing everything every time.
Yeah, and it's one of the reasons I haven't played Sekiro. Because Sekiro is the kind of game that should be right up my alley. Where it's that whole weeb stuff, samurais, ninjas and shit.
Yeah.
But I just, like, I don't want to play a roguelite.
And Souls games are just not your thing as well. So
right, it isn't my thing. Right. And I'll tell you the big reason I haven't played Souls after this your recent, like, upswing in it.
Yeah.
Too much reading.
There is a bit.
I want to get my lore from the game, either experiencing it or like cutscenes showing me it, right? I don't want to be told. I don't want to be exposited. I don't want it to do it by exposition, but I want to experience it in that medium. I don't want to, oh, look, some prisoner's diary. Oh, and it's 5 pages long. Fuck. Yeah. Like, it's not what I want. So that's kept me away from it. But Returnal is kind of intriguing to me. I like the weird idea of like you die and then you find yourself and then it like that's
There's an interesting story thing. That
very interesting.
Like, yeah.
So I would like to play. I'm kind of considering Elden Ring.
Ooh, now that's a good one.
I'm kind of considering it.
I think that might be the one as well because it's a bit different as well. As in,
it's
like,
also going to be brand new. So like the thing with Bloodborne, Demon Souls. Which one was the new one?
The new one was Demon Souls.
Demon Souls.
Yeah.
It's
well,
like
that was a remake. So Bloodborne.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like a game either people have already played or it's the next in an installment. But with Elden Ring, it's on its own. It's I could see myself potentially getting into it. I think
we're getting him into Souls games, boys.
What we'll probably do, unless you're going to buy a collector's edition, is we'll do it digitally and then I'll have it. Oh, you've already freaking bought it, haven't you? You've already freaking bought it. What did you get?
So there's this collector's edition with this huge statue, and she's got like this huge like bendit sword. Yeah, type in the collector's edition, you'll see it's like this huge like thin long sword. It looks so gorgeous. There was one step up from it.
Freaking have to start wearing armbands if she sees this thing. She's gonna gush all over the fucking.
Katie already, which by the way, Katie. You're a bastard, and she managed to get into the Elden Ring network test, and I didn't.
Oh, this thing.
So she's a bastard. Yes.
How big is that statue?
I think it's something like a foot tall or something like that.
Damn.
So it's pretty decent.
Because I've always regretted. Actually, I have a few regrets with collector's editions. I regretted not getting the Witcher 3 one, and you've got the Geralt fighting the Griffin thing there, which looks sick. I regretted not getting the Doom Eternal one for that helmet. Man, that's a big regret of mine.
That was a big one. Big one.
And although I think at the time it was a good thing to do because of all the controversy, I maybe shouldn't have talked you out of The Last of Us 2 because it did end up being a game that we both loved.
There was a lot of worry going up to it.
Yeah.
It would have stung a lot looking at it if it was terrible. Or if it was like it had some weird fucking narrative going on into it. So I get why you did it. But it turned out to be amazing, and
Yeah.
it would have been great looking at Ellie on her like guitar and whatnot. It just,
I feel so bad about that.
Great.
The other ones, look, the Witch 3 one and the Doom one, that was my decision not to get them, but I talked you out of it. And that's the one I feel bad about, because it did end up being... But then again, like, what was I supposed to do? Let you spend £200 on a game that could have frickin' sucked?
It's okay. It worked out better this way because I get to hold it over you for the rest of the time.
That's the way it should be as well. That's the way it should be.
And everyone in the chat can be like, remember when you fucked up and you did...
Fucked up!
Idiot!
I'm always going to kick myself about that Doom helmet, though.
You know what I don't feel regret for? We're talking about collector's editions now. That's what the podcast is.
Yeah.
My Cyberpunk one, even though we have our discussions about Cyberpunk and how it didn't live up to expectations, it's a weird disconnect when it comes with Cyberpunk for me, because the collector's edition and the chair and the other stuff like that is all based on the aesthetic of the game.
Yeah, that's very Akira as well. We
Yeah,
watched Akira,
the bike
didn't we?
thing was definitely Akira inspiration there. Because the aesthetic is still amazing and everything like that, it's okay for some reason, and I don't get PTSD when I look at it and go, oh, terrible game.
Well, I was going to say that chair's like 400 quid.
Yeah, 429 quid.
I'm going to come out and say I suspect you have no regrets.
No,
it
I
looks
love it.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's comfy. It's the aesthetic, right? The game sucked, but like...
I hate that they came out with the Superman one less than a year after it.
And that one looks freaking clean as well, my God.
But that's no fault of the chair.
Yeah, the chair still looks sick. That V on the motorbike, like as he's falling, like crashing and shooting and stuff, looks sick. So, yeah, collector's editions are a weird thing. Yeah. Elden Ring, I guess I'll have to buy it myself.
Yes, we'll get out of the Patreon and stuff like that. Hopefully by then we'll be able to muster a little bit of money to do. You know, we'll see what we do. But
well, actually, do you know what I'll probably do? I'll probably end up watching some. Are you going to stream Elden Ring?
Maybe.
I mean, for the record, I feel like
we've just completely glossed over the fact that there's 8 other games coming out in February.
Yes. Frick. So this is the problem: is we're gonna have call it 10 solid days of nothing, right? Over Christmas, like sort of the 3 before through to Christmas to like the 26th, and then the 5 after that to like January 1st. The problem is all the stuff I really want to play doesn't come out until January.
Yeah.
Didn't think about that.
People were asking me. They were like, "What are you gonna play?"
This is not a problem for me. I don't sleep. Never mind.
There you go. You've got around it.
Fine for me. Yeah.
Well, let me just
type suck to be you.
There was. Let me find out what the actual games are. Games 2022. I put too many 2s on that. That doesn't work out. Okay.
I will say the Horizon Collector's Edition looks fucking dope.
I got that one as well. The Ragala edition.
Yeah.
That was dope. Okay,
but I don't vibe with that game. I don't care how good the Collector's Edition looks. I'm not gonna get it just for the.
Especially because you have bad feelings about the first game. You can't go and buy the Collector's Edition for the second game. It might be great, and then you might kick yourself afterwards. But that's after.
Well, that's in a weird way. That's a good timeline to be in.
Exactly.
You know.
So in January we've got God of War. And then we've got Horizon Forbidden West and Elden Ring and Sifu coming out in February.
Oh, frick. I forgot about Sifu. Damn it! How long is Sifu? Time to beat Sifu.
It's probably going to be small. It probably doesn't come up
so.
yet. They probably won't come up yet because we don't know. We won't know yet. But yeah, this is going to be pretty... The difference, by the way, so Horizon Forbidden West comes out the 18th of February. 4 days later is Sifu.
I can't beat it in that time.
Also, there are a bunch of people... I think I'm not going to do this because Destiny's been being really weird recently with the DLC and stuff like that. Asking for far too much money. 22nd of February as well comes out the Witch Queen DLC.
Yeah, I don't care.
Oh, God. Saints Row. Shit. It started off looking terrible, but then they explained it a bit more, and it actually sounds like it might be good. 25th of February, and on the 25th of February as well, Elden Ring.
And Vampire the Masquerade.
Oh, yeah, as well.
That's what I'm interested in.
What is the deal?
And also our poor wallets.
Exactly. It can only take so much. Isla needs to eat. How many collector's editions do you want me to buy?
Yeah, she's looking a bit chunky. She can.
she got a bit of weight on her.
I was perfect. So.
I took a screenshot of the Elden Ring collector's edition that I bought.
Yeah.
And it was like Elden Ring collector's edition, purchased, all like that. And I think it was Ozzy or Onda, one of those guys
Yeah.
who photoshopped it to be like Elden Ring. Eddie needs to feed Isla.
yeah.
I'm like, oh shit! Oh, God.
Someone, I think it might have been
It's got to be
Dano,
a thing now.
was saying what you should do is every time you make one of these ridiculous expenses,
Yeah.
is put that an equal amount into like an investment fund for Isla.
I mean,
And then two things: one, you have to really prioritize what you want, and two, Isla will actually have something when she grows up.
yeah. Yeah.
Maybe not.
Maybe, I don't think that's a good idea. It doesn't sound good.
Ah,
to
she
me.
can look after herself. She needs to get a job anyway.
Exactly. Come on now. I'm just looking at other games that come. Oh, Pokemon Arceus comes out in January,
Ooh.
January 28th.
Are you so
Cricket 2022 comes out January as well.
gaming?
That's
And that one,
gaming.
unlike FIFA, is not reskinned the game. You know, that
Hotel Life, a resort simulator. We need to play that. We need to play
Who
that.
builds these things?
Wait, hold on. Corpse Factory? Is that like a simulator?
I've no idea, mate.
Anyway,
There's a bunch of cool games coming out.
a bunch of games.
It looks like the thing is, it looks like there's a lot coming out, but weirdly, not that many brand new and PS5 exclusive games. But good games are good games. Like I'm super interested in
We're not
Sifu.
going to play them.
I'm not sure where I stand with Horizon. Because the worst thing is I can't be like, oh, you play it and then I'll get it. Because you like
Yeah.
it. And I have, for the record, I have no problem with people that like the game.
Yeah.
I just, whenever people, why do you like it? I justify why I don't like it. And for a lot of people that doesn't resonate. And that's a good thing because I want people to enjoy the games that they play.
Also, I would argue personally, it's more interesting what you think about it. Me, okay, I like the franchise already, and also I like these type of games. They're very
Yeah,
my
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But you are in this genre. You like these genres.
Yeah.
However, this game did not speak to you in the first
Right, right.
installment. Can they convert you? Can they bring you around? I
Right.
think that's a way more interesting discussion, personally.
And unlike a
So,
bunch of these
yeah.
games where it's like, oh, it's not for me, I put it down. I finished it. I did a bunch of stuff in it.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest, I saw a lot of the side content in the game.
Yeah, it's just the way you're
Like
building it.
I found that hidden armor. I ended up getting it. Like I did all of that stuff, which I assume you will have done for
Yeah.
platinuming. Like I do see a lot of these games. I gave it all. I finished it. I did all of the stuff, and at the end, I was like, "Yeah, bad game." Or no, it's worse than that because it's a good game. It's a bad, in my opinion, a
That's
bad
fair.
story. It's actually not a bad story.
Character.
Yeah, the your bridge into the story is bad, and I freaking hate it. Plus, 'cause she's a hot redhead. Like everything was stacked, everything, and they messed it up. Anyway,
Bastards.
what was the topic?
I spoke about the games that I liked and whatnot. You said, "Oh,
Oh,
I
yeah.
might try Elden Ring," and that's how we got to that. Which was, I love that discussion,
Yeah.
by the way. But your game or game that you've loved playing on the PS5 since owning it?
On the PS5, see, this is all my gaming's been done on the PS5. So
Yeah.
old titles was like I played Control,
Oh yeah,
but that's obviously not
you did play the Ultimate Edition.
I
Though, So
did.
that was the PS5 version.
It was the PS5 upgrade. I did really enjoy it a lot. I didn't weird thing. It's almost the exact opposite of it's like horseshoe opposite of Horizon.
Yeah.
I love the world, but where I hated Aloy, I feel nothing for Jessie. I couldn't care less about Jessie. Like she's
It's
such
just an empty void.
yeah, it really is. She could have been a mannequin running around. I just don't care. And her brother, I don't care. But it was a good experience. I really enjoyed that. Surprisingly, the ashtray maze was amazing.
Mm.
I really enjoyed Ratchet and Clank. I'm a Ratchet and Clank fan, so I knew I was gonna like it. Like in my opinion, they don't make bad ones. They just make ones you don't prefer.
Yeah.
It was a great installment. It was a great tech demo. The thing I liked about it probably the most was just how much it made me realize, wow, my PS5 is going to do some incredible things in the next 7 years. And then, something people won't be expecting, Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, which
How was your first time playing this brand new game that you've never
I
played
know,
before?
and it's minor, and I never talk about it, but I had a really good time.
Yeah.
I did, and
Good.
I hate that I always talk about it, but
No, if you
it's my to be honest, it's my benchmark for a lot of gaming experiences. Like not for storytelling, obviously. I feel like that's pretty weak, but like the acting, and what did I say I've said it on stream a bunch of times when I was, believe it or not, playing Ghost of Tsushima. Do you know what we really need? We need some Kazuma. So we need to see Jin's dad. We need to see that relationship. They gave me everything, freaking everything they wanted. I know you're listening. I know you're watching because you played out the DLC I said you should do. Where are my duels, you fucking cunts? Where are my duels? Like, it's the DLC I pitched. It's the
like
story I pitched.
It's like they were like, okay, let's take notes. This guy seems to be really passionate about this game. Right?
It's
duels. Oh no,
story.
I've run out of paper. Sorry.
Oh, but I did really enjoy that. It was great.
One note on you saying like how you talk about this game because you really enjoy
Yeah.
it. I don't have any problem with you going over this game a million times. We have to put up with James talking about Forza Horizon 5 because that's his game of the year.
And he's doing that ironically.
Exactly.
You know,
I'm completely fine with that.
Anyway, most awaited game anyway is obviously God of War.
Yeah.
And that's coming soon. That's 2 months away. 2.5 months.
God of War on the PS5 patch, on PC, you mean?
No. PS. God of War 5.
You mean Ragnarok?
Yes.
Ragnarok's are coming in 2 weeks. That's coming. That we don't have a date
2
for
months.
that yet.
January they said, didn't they?
No. That's the PC port.
Oh.
And then maybe we might be getting a PS5 patch.
A PS5 patch would be banging.
That's what we was talking about. We were saying that maybe we'll have a PS5
I've
patch
confused this in my head for sure. Yeah.
But because we don't have a date for that yet. They said 2022.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what they
that's
said.
right. That's right.
Because apparently you had to have all them surgeries done.
That's right.
Judge.
PS5 patch would be enough for me though,
Yeah.
because I've been craving God of War 4. And let's be honest, I'm gonna do all the side content again because it's just the way I play games.
You're gonna start off with the side content.
I'm gonna start off with the Valkyries,
Exactly.
which is the way.
Best way to do it.
It's the way I did it the first time. That's obviously the best way to do it. Follow the same route. Once you blaze a trail, just follow the trail. The worst thing is, it's not a joke. It's what I'll probably do.
Yeah, you get so easily distracted by the side content. All right, let's kick it over to some of our boys who wrote into our Discord server and our Patreon at
Yeah, boy.
patreon.com/conversations, just like you guys can. Okay, we got a comment from Alpha Aqualele.
He messaged me on Discord. He's like, I've got an essay. Is it okay? And I was like, yeah, it's okay. What I said was, if you're going to do it, I need proper punctuation and you need to separate into paragraphs.
I will give him that he separated into paragraphs and with proper punctuation. However, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 paragraphs!
Now, also, he messaged me, said, I've got a Diego essay.
That's what he said.
You just did your dissertation, mate.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna read the first 3 paragraphs on this.
Have you read the whole thing?
No, I haven't read the whole thing.
Shall I
yet.
do the last ones after that, or?
Let me read it. Let me just read this and we'll see how we're doing for time.
Okay.
Because that's the main factor.
We're already
here.
a little bit of a way into this, yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so Alpha Aquele, I wrote it on patreon.com/conversations, just like you guys can. And he says, this week, he goes, why did I get a Series X? Mostly due to my existing game library, which at that point in time included the exclusives of Remedy's Alan Wake and Quantum Break. Quantum Break was apparently supposed to be really good, but no many people played it. And the games that I hadn't and maybe still haven't gotten around to playing yet, games like Control's Next Gen Update, RDR2, Hitman, and The Witcher 3.
Control's legit.
I hadn't played
You haven't played The Witcher 3?
I hadn't played Red Dead Redemption either. He's in for some good shit coming soon.
Yeah. I mean, I've installed Red Dead Redemption 2.
Basically, you've played it then.
Close enough.
Basically, you've played it.
The Witcher 3, by the way, is amazing. It's one of my favourite games of all time.
I was looking forward to upcoming releases, including Perfect Dark. That's miles away.
That's a while away, yeah.
Crossfire X because of Remedy, and Forza Horizon 5. But I'm not sure about the PS Store. I'm not sure about the PS Store, but the Xbox Store almost always has great sales on games and movies. Yeah, the sales on PS5 have gotten really good as well. There's always a sale on for something.
Yeah.
We've only started to buy more digital games recently, so I've only started to notice it.
Yeah, and we're doing that because of the game share feature, so we functionally get it for half price.
Exactly.
It's good for us.
As of typing this, Jedi Fallen Order and Avengers are on substantial sales. In a few days, they'll probably be switched out for others. I've previously seen RDR2 and Hitman be reduced in price, but you could definitely argue that physical discs are better. We are the physical kings.
We
over here.
prefer the steel case stuff generally. Yeah.
I recently started a Game Pass subscription for the first time properly. Previously, I used 4 months worth of trials, like everyone else, really. That's what you do. And it's been great to catch up on older games that I want to play for a cheap price, and would probably only play once before selling them otherwise. Franchises like Ori and Halo. It's also useful as trials for games that I didn't enjoy, but would have maybe purchased otherwise. Games such as Jedi Fallen Order, Sunset Overdrive, and Kingdom Hearts 3. Audible gasp, he says there. Not Kingdom Hearts 3.
Stage directions.
Or alternatively, to try games that I wouldn't have tried and end up really liking, which include Sea of Solitude and What Remains of Edith Finch. Superliminal as well. And he says, Omno and Last Stop. Haven't heard those two last games, but still. While it's easy to say that the Xbox is doing here, what Xbox is doing here isn't good, it's great for people who might not have a steady income or of disposable money, but after buying the console, and people who might want to only afford to be able to buy a couple of games per year to get and hopefully get many more in the future when the price just gets lower. Just older or Xbox exclusives. That's really what Game Pass excels at, is that if you don't have the money and you want to get something cheap, you can do that. What, like you said before, though, what that does for the industry, still up in the air. This is the last paragraph I'm going to read here, because it is a lot going on here. As for 2021 releases, I've not played many, just some that I've mentioned earlier, along with Medium, 12 Minutes, Alan Wake Remaster, Flight Sim, and Forza Horizon 5. All were great, good fun. I've played a good mix of purchased games and Game Pass games, but haven't played as many EA Play games, which are part of the Game Pass Ultimate subscription, which is true. I have that on PC as well. A Way Out was great fun, though. As for back compat, I've played Alan Wake's American Nightmare. He really likes Alan Wake, doesn't he?
He does. He was big on that.
Arkham Origins and Injustice. Those are from two generations ago. The comparison to PS5's back compatibility, I'd use the back compat on PS5 the same way I use it on the Xbox. It would just mean missing out on older games unless they're available on PS4 or part of the program. That's right. The one thing that the Xbox have been doing is they've been pushing a lot of their backwards compatibility games, partly because they didn't have anything to play now, so they had to push something forward. And as a result, you've got all of these games to play from the older generation.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good games on that list, like Jedi Fallen Order at a pretty significant discount is totally worth the money. Like, it's Star Wars. Yeah. It feels Star Wars. The problem is Cal Kestis.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like, it's a really good it's a really good way to feel like you're in the game if you ignore the characters that you're given, except that one chick from Dathomir. She's cool, but you
never get to get anything more from her.
You get to meet her for like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And the cameo at the end.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, you're running around with a laser sword doing space magic. It's solid.
It's good. Can I read this one more paragraph, actually?
Feel free.
He goes, at the time, and I guess still to this day, the controller is a big selling point of the PlayStation 5. So I actually talk about the console now. Yeah. But at the time, this was something that I felt could be produced in the future with the right development. The old Xbox One controller had adaptive triggers. There was actually a form of adaptive triggers back on the Xbox One. Yeah. It wasn't as good, but still was good.
No, it was quite basic. But it gave you, like, instead of... What did it do? It was like spring-loaded or something. Yeah, that's it.
It vibrated. That's what it was. But of course, nowhere near to the extent of the DualSense controller. I do quite like the size, the lightweight of the Series X, and the way that the green pops at the top of it when you approach it. That is a good. I said on the top, it's really cool. I love how quiet it is, except when it isn't. Interesting. It usually makes a bit of noise when a disc is inside, of course. I also prefer a disc-based console.
Me too.
As it's more than just for playing games. I can use it to watch Smallville. That's the most important thing to do.
The most important thing.
All right, then. He does also talk about other features that are really good, like you talk about quick resume as he goes on there. But this is very, very extensive.
That reminds me, for the record, we're going to read. We will read that, but just not on camera. So... The Xbox has the quick switch.
Yes.
In a weird way, so does the PlayStation. Have you noticed this?
Yeah.
So basically, they call it. It's not the switcher, but I forget what they.
I think it's
call
called Game Switcher.
Is it on the PlayStation?
I'm
Anyway.
guessing myself now.
Basically, all it does is it has, whereas the Xbox system is supposed to be, let's say you're playing Forza, and let's say you're playing,
Gears.
Gears of War, or Horizon Infinite or something, right? No, that's a bad example. What was that? Medium. Let's say you're playing Medium, and your mate jumps on freaking Halo.
Yeah.
With the switcher, you just go to Halo and you're in.
Yeah.
And then when your mate jumps off and you're not going to play anymore, you hit the switch and you go straight back to Medium. It's where you left it, right? They don't have that on PlayStation.
No.
But what they do have is it's sort of like almost a double clutch in a car where it's like it's got all the games ready for you. You hit switcher, get the game, and boom, it's there.
Loads
Now,
into
it
it.
has to load into it. It won't put you back where you were, but it's immediately there, and it just straight loads the game, and it loads incredibly fast.
Because of the next generation console, isn't it? Yeah.
Right, so while it is not
As
the
close
same,
as it gets.
yeah, it's not the same as being like, okay, I'm playing one game, well, I want to go back to the other game, and you pick up immediately where you were.
Yeah.
You're like, I think I timed it at like under 10 seconds to be back into the game.
Yeah.
So it's still very quick, very close. The Xbox One is better.
Also, do you know what I would like to see as well? I'd like to see how that's changed over time. Because you know OSs can get like slower and
They get
bloated,
bloated,
as updates go through. Also, recently they updated the OS on the Xbox to 4K. Previously it wasn't 4K, it was 1080p. And I wonder how much that slowed things down. And we just don't know because no one cares after the launch. They're like, oh, the launch, do a comparison. Cool, okay, never see it again.
Also, it's an update. You can't un-update it.
Exactly.
It's not
exactly.
something, you know.
I'd be interested to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for writing in, Alpha. We'll read the rest of it ourselves,
We
but there's
will.
a very big one. We want to obviously put other people in the
Yep.
show. Thank you very much for writing
Also,
in.
you're not high enough tier. He's not super rosy.
No, he's not.
You're not high enough tier.
Bastard.
Just messing with you, bro.
You
But
need to do it to the $69 tier, then we'll read it.
I will be honest. When he said Diogo, I'm thinking 3 paragraphs. Cool.
Yeah.
Man's got a lot to say.
He's invented a new thing.
Yeah.
It's now the Alpha essay style.
That's it.
That's what it is.
It's an alpha essay for sure.
Taking it from Diogo. Morbius Sweep 2022, who is that Juice? That's Juice right there. He
Freaking
writes in and he
Juice.
says, I got a PS5 around about the start of this year. I played Miles Morales and I barely touched it since, to be honest. I only use it for exclusives, and on that end, I think it's been a little bit dry.
Yeah.
But I'm still very excited for a lot of upcoming exclusives that should be coming. And I have, of course, been very impressed by the technical side of the console, the visuals, the performance, and of course the controller mechanics are all amazing. As for the only games I've played this year are Hitman, Deathloop, Redacted Cry 6. Can't talk about that
Yeah.
game. And of those, I have finished Hitman 3. So I guess that's my top game.
Fair enough.
When it comes to Game of the Year, I'm sure you'll have finished a lot more by then. You can write anyway. Thank you very much for writing in. Interesting to hear your thoughts.
Hey,
about
fun
that.
fact. There's a comment here from Alpha.
Oh, so,
In fairness, it's because you missed out a bunch of something he said last week.
go on then. Aaron.
The PlayStation PC logo looks strange. I don't like the difference between the PC font style and the PlayStation font style. They don't mesh together well. Totally agree. Let's talk about Forza. Okay.
All right.
Have you played the earlier games, either Motorsport or Horizon?
No.
No. I don't play racing games. Neither do we. With the exception of the Horizon games. It's the only racing game series I like. I've played 3, Australia, and 4, GB only. I don't know. There's so much to do and a lot to explore. What could maybe be described as a large open world adventure. I'm not talking to the... yeah, okay. Where were we? I lost my space. It's just a really good game, and it's so fun to play. Locating every single road and driving across them all is a super satisfying as the map gets coloured in and a challenge is completed.
That is cool, yeah.
I always like to explore, making sure I get all the bonus boards, which are vehicle puzzles. Being able to drive whenever you want is fantastic, or wherever you want is fantastic. So I usually go off-road, do skills and wreck fences. That reminds me, Eddie, fix your other fence.
You bastard.
I mean, I could see taking like a McLaren off-roading being fun.
Do you know what? There is a cool thing that they do in Horizon as well. So they've got all these challenges just on the open world map. You can either just go into a race or you can do these challenges. They've set up speed cameras at certain points, and you've got to try and get faster and faster.
Yeah.
And some of them are set in good places where there's a nice stretch of like straight runway.
Right.
But then you're like, I think I can go faster. I don't think I was at my peak. So you end up starting at like the top of a hill far in the distance, going off of the track like that, just so you can get 10 more miles per hour.
Just so you can go to jail for life.
Exactly, exactly. Like, whereas if you started at the edge of the runway, you'd get up to 150 miles an hour. But it's like, if I come in at 50 already, then I'm already starting off at a good...
Right.
And then you get 160, I've got another record, yes.
Yeah.
So it's actually really cool, that stuff. Brendan Fraser writes in next. Thank you, Brendan Fraser. You're such a great guy.
Yeah.
You know, one of our bros here. Been closing my eyes and imagining I'm flying in space, finding new planets and shit that is really fun. So ironically, my favorite game this year has been Mass Effect Legendary Edition. That was what it's called. Legendary Edition, because it's my only new game I've played this year. Hey, man.
I totally forgot about Legendary Edition because I don't know. I just forgot about it.
You haven't? Have you played it on the new system yet? No, you haven't.
No.
You've just got the sweet memory of what it used to be.
I have it, but also ironically, if I was to boot up, I would skip 1.
Oh, because you want to go straight to
2. 2 is where it is at. Oh my god, so good. I might have to play that. Oh, I got Christmas. I might play that.
There you go.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is he's going to load it up and then it's going to be Ghost of Tsushima.
The one thing that I haven't done, because I played them sequentially, is I don't know if you just boot up 2, if it gives you an options list of what you did last time. I don't think it does. Frick! Anyway, Cobra says, I don't have a PS5 because I have a life and I'm not a nerd. Psh! Def don't want one and I'm not jealous at all.
Well, we're nerds and we can tell you it's a fantastic time.
It's great. It's great. Look at this guy out here slaying puss and having a life.
In it. Guys like, I've
what
got
a
bitches
loser.
and stuff.
What a loser.
I'm enjoying my life. I'm being social in like pubs and stuff. Come on now. Dark Diogo, I should say, computer lad, #LoveBen, writes in and he says, been 1 year of PS5 and I have played 0 exclusives thanks to cross-gen games. Overall, had a good time, but would have loved more exclusive. Demon Souls and Returnal ain't my thing and Ratchet hasn't gotten cheaper. Plus, give us console themes and let me have my data via USB back. See, this is what I'm talking about. These guys really bang on about some shit, don't they?
Dumb stuff.
There you go. Game of the year, It Takes Two or Kenna Probs.
So, It Takes Two is one we meant to check out and never did.
Meant to check it out, yeah.
Now, one thing to consider, if Ratchet and Clank hasn't gotten cheaper like every other game, maybe it's good.
Maybe that's why, yeah.
Something to think about. I'm not saying that you should spend your money that way, but if you bought like a physical copy, the resale should be fairly high. You get at least half your money back, I would think. Have you
ever considered to not like fetishize spending money on games?
No, like the people said, Game Pass is good if people don't have very much money.
Yeah.
Well, the fix that is just earn more money, fool.
Yeah, have you tried having more money?
Just be rich instead.
Some of your problems in fact, all of your problems could be solved by acquiring more money.
Yeah, just don't be poor.
Don't be poor.
And have more money.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, I wish it was that simple.
If only flick a switch.
Yeah,
Done.
So,
I didn't see that.
I'll just be rich instead. Like I was saying about difficulty.
Yeah.
Being a tool. Just instead, just be like, do you know what? I've been playing so far on poor. I think I'm just gonna. Do you know what? It is actually easier. It's on easy mode, but do you know what? People are gonna complain that I'm playing it on easy. But like, I'll just cry in my Ferrari.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll just cry over here in my hot tub / Ferrari that I've built. I put the hot tub in the Ferrari.
It's a Ferrari with a pickup bed that is a hot tub.
Exactly. Could you imagine putting a tow bar on a Ferrari?
To tow your caravan or something. Because you still have like regular guy hobbies.
Yeah.
But you have.
I just want to go fishing.
You have oil baron money. Yeah.
And that is the last comment,
Yeah,
guys. It's been great talking about the last year of PlayStation and Xbox and gaming in general, how great it's been. I can only see it getting better, especially with how stacked the beginning of next year is.
Yeah.
We should be getting the next The Witcher update, hopefully next year. The Witcher one I'm hopeful for because at least it's already built. You just need to make it look better.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
And maybe one day we get the Cyberpunk one, but again, that's not going to change the game.
Yeah, I
think it's still going to be buggy as crap.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's going to be a lot more games. We've got God of War to look forward to. We've got Xbox exclusives that are coming up as well. Should be quite fun.
Yeah, boy.
Guys, thank you all for tuning in for another episode of the True Gamer Podcast. Every Saturday, remember, be here so you can enjoy some more of this. Or if you want to be a patron and get it early, you can do that. That's really awesome. If not, though, subscribe to the channel and the likes and the comments below are everything we need. Thank you so much.
It's a good thing you put that at 2 hours and 16 minutes.
Just a reminder in case you didn't do it. Also, go rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Really
That one's actually really helpful.
Bro,
Yeah.
thank you for joining me for the celebration.
Yeah, boy.
And I'll catch you in the next one.
Yeah, much love.
You know, I still haven't got my Smallville Blu-ray set.
What?
I still haven't got my Smallville Blu-ray set. It's supposed to become on the 19th of October. Still hasn't come. I've been messaging with them now. They just go, sorry, your order hasn't been dispatched yet. This is on special order for you with the supplier, and we intend to send this out as soon as possible. Unfortunately, at the moment, we're unable to confirm the exact date as when this will be. I have raised this with the relevant team so they can chase this up with the supplier. Thank you for your patience.
What do you mean it's on special order for you? It's a product you sell. I ordered it. You said you confirmed it and sent it to me, and then didn't.
I think what they're implying here without saying is that we've sent out all the orders that we have.
Yeah.
And we have none left. So what we're having to do now is go to the fucking supplier to hope they have one more.
Right.
I hope they have one more because they don't sell it anywhere else in the UK. This is the only website that does.
Yeah.
Hell to pay if I don't get it. There'll be hell.
Motherfrickers, I'm actually shocked. That makes sense as to why I haven't heard you banging on about Smallville.
Because you know when it happens, I'm going to be like, somebody say...
Yeah, because I don't hear that enough every stream.
Let your warm hands break right through somebody.
It doesn't even make sense. The lyrics don't even make sense.
Hey, it's the warm hands of hope breaking through the darkness and the sky of the...
What are you smoking?
Kryptonian grade weed.
Yeah, it's going to have to be.